we got some shipping to do. So I got orders on eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari to ship out today. So we'll get all those going. We'll do that right here while we're live. I'm going to show you everything that sold over the weekend, everything that sold at least since Saturday at noontime, the last time that I shipped. So 48 hours worth of orders, eBay, Poshmark, and Mercari. I didn't check. We probably have some coffee orders as well, too. So welcome in. Glad that you're here. Glad to spend a little bit of time with you today. Hopefully, maybe you learned something. Maybe you crack half a smile. But anyway, I'm glad that you're here and happy to chat reselling. I love talking shop with y'all. So we're going to get all the orders shipped out while we're live here today. And we're going to have fun doing it, I think, too. So welcome in, everybody. Say hello if you haven't said hello. We do this every Monday, usually around noontime, a little bit later today, but here we are. Juliet, good morning or good afternoon. Welcome in. What's up, buddy? Scott is in the house. Welcome back, Scott. Always good to have you, brother. All right, let's get our shipping labels printed out here. Let's see. Welcome in. All right. Hey, sweet Zoe's Vintage. Welcome in. Warm day here in Asheville. We're finally getting some of that late spring, early summer type of weather. We've had a cool spring, which I am 100% for. I love that nice long spring, and a lot of temperatures in the 60s and 70s, mostly like the 60s though, and it's some really cool evenings. But yesterday mid 80s, today mid 80s. You can hear Kim. Kim's about to grind some coffee just because we went live. She's gonna make some cold brew for us for tomorrow. So welcome in, everybody. Posey ordered a bag of coffee. Is thank you for all the help. Oh, you're welcome, Posey. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You don't have to buy, but of course I appreciate it. I love shipping coffee to y'all. Is that the first name on the order? Is it Jennifer? Is that the one I'm looking at? What's up, Royal Connections from Ocala? Welcome in. You can hear Kim grinding coffee. Spring Hill in the house. Welcome in. That's awesome. I've been up thrifted a handful of times and done some retail arbitrage in Spring Hill, probably more than a handful of times back when I lived down there, actually. What is up? Jack is in the house. I have a double Kim. Yeah. Kim, Jack would like a double espresso. Jack drinks a lot of coffee. Might want to make him a triple. Is that you? Is that you, Jennifer, on the order? Let me know, Posey. Or maybe I'm looking at somebody else's order. Either that. Oh, I see your order from last week. Is that yours? I see the order now. That shipped. You should have it already. Let me check. That should be in your inbox by now. Yeah, it got to your inbox on the 15th. So what was that? Friday? So thank you for your order. I appreciate that. Our Brooks Brothers long sleeve still in demand. eBay has been slow, but Poshmark on fire. Nice. Glad to hear that Poshmark's catching fire. Yeah, but just like anything, like any brand, I'm going to say I don't pick up everything from that brand. So I don't pick up all Brooks Brothers long sleeves. I'm looking for very modern in style patterns, especially if they have the logo on the chest too. So it's a matter of picking the right ones, and they can be good. What's up? Salt is in the house. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. My damn compass FD be back in a flash. Get that cup full. What's up, Nick Smith? 97. We're gonna have mid 80s today. So yeah, that's warm for us this time of year. But it's more seasonal, I guess. Late May, early June, we start getting some 80-degree weather. But we have not really had any of that so far this year. Yep, last week it was fantastic. Thank you so much, Posey. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You're slacking. I'm already done shipping. 19 eBay, 5 Poshmark. Nice salt. That's good. I'm always slacking over here, brother. Always slacking. I hope everyone had a good weekend of sales. We're going to go through mine. Welcome in, Chemo. What's up, dude? Hope you're well. Hope things are well down there. Give me a high temperature down there in Houston today. I bet you got some heat. If we're hot, you're probably hot. What's up, Roberto? Always at my peak, brother. Or sometimes at my peak, anyway. All right, let's get these shipping labels printed out here. And let's get cooking. Let me know, what are we going to ship first? Are we going to ship eBay, Poshmark, or Mercari today first? Let me know down below in the chat. eBay, Poshmark, or Mercari, the first response I see in the chat, that's what we'll ship first. Phoenix is fire. I'm assuming you're saying Phoenix is hot. And I think Phoenix is always hot, right? Going to be over 80 here in Southwest Pennsylvania. Gotcha. And you've had a cool spring up there in Pennsylvania too. Am I not wrong? What's up, Susie? Welcome in. Good to have you. All right. Let's make sure I get these in order. So I'm going to go through all these orders from the weekend. I'm going to show you exactly what sold. I'm going to tell you how much it sold for, about how long it was in inventory. I'll estimate my profits on all these items. And happy to answer questions. I love hearing about what's going on with your business. So keep me updated. What's happening? How was your weekend? Did you sell some good stuff? Did you find some good stuff? It's garage sale season for a lot of folks. I see, so Roberto first up here with eBay. I'm the boss. You are the boss, Roberto. We'll do eBay first. We'll do Mercari second. Ellen will do Poshmark third. Is Depop good? It just kind of depends on what you sell. I don't know that there's like most things in life, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. So I think, some people probably do really well on Depop. I don't sell on Depop anymore, but it doesn't mean that it's not good. 90 degrees, that's it. I would have figured y'all would have been hotter than that. So my business is called Peak Outfitters. So I'm Chris and I work at Peak. Good question. All right. First order is going out the door. What did we say first? eBay first, right? Okay. First order. Now this is me, like full transparency, right? This isn't a highlight reel. I'm showing you exactly what's going on in my business, a good honest glimpse. So this is a Bonobo shirt that I picked up years ago. Not a great seller. I don't pick up Bonobo shirts typically. It's a men's size small, by the way, too. So not a great pickup right here. Plus, when I got it home, I noticed it had a stain on it. So I listed it with a stain, made sure that I pointed out the stain in the item, that there was a stain in the item title, in the description, and I put a close-up photo with a pointer pointing right at that stain. And it took a couple years to sell. I got an offer for $5 on Saturday. I took the $5. So let's get rid of this shirt. I've had this for a long time. So I'm not just here to flex and brag. I'm here to show you exactly like what this business is about, right? Like sometimes you're going to buy stuff, you're going to bring it home, and you're going to notice the stain, and it's going to be a bad buy, but whatever. Usually I sell them for a little bit more than $5. This is probably this might be my lowest sale price of the year. So I'm showing you my lowest sale price of the year. So this is going out to John in Reading, Pennsylvania. John, thanks for getting this shirt out of my inventory. It's a really old listing too. My photo is horrible on this listing. I don't even know what's going on in that photo, that cover photo. So a lot going wrong with this one right here, but it's gone. I'm probably losing money on this deal, but how much does the shipping label cost? $5.83 on the shipping label. At least I'll make a buck on the shipping label, right? But I think this is probably my lowest like single sale price of the year, $5. I don't really sell like little trinkety type of things that sell for that little, but that's the reality of this business. You're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. Just going to move on. First time coming into your lives. What's up, Dora? I do enjoy your videos and like the bread and butter knowledge. I appreciate you being here, Dora. Welcome in. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here for it. Love hearing about like your business. What kind of stuff do you flip online, or you just getting started, or are you thinking about getting started? It doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. You're welcome here. After a slow week, it really picked up this weekend for me. Glad to hear that, Scott. I've had a crazy good month. This weekend was kind of, I don't know, softish, slowish. Not bad. I'm not complaining. But the month overall has just been wild. My best days, so like of the week, this month have tended to be Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday's been like pretty soft, which is strange because usually Sunday's my busiest day more often than not, but it's been a lot of like Friday, Saturdays have been really big days. So I shipped a ton of stuff on Saturday. It was awesome. Thoughts on Ross resellers? Great. I love people who are flipping stuff to make money to feed their families. I don't know. Do you have a specific question, Roberto? I'm not sure. Sold a national championship cheerleader varsity style jacket for $76. Nice. Paid $6, but I got 5 of them, and it was listed less than a week. Dang. So you got to cash in on that find. That's awesome. Nice sale. Thanks for sharing. I love that. Laura is in the house. Welcome in, Laura. Good to have you. Thank you for keeping it real, Chris. That's the only way to be, I feel like. The only way to be is be real. What's up? Sweet Zoe's. How do you know when to stop snowballing profit back into your business? Mine's getting too big for one person, but I don't know how to contain it and start using profit for bills, etc. Sweet Zoe, it's a great question, but I would be a phony if I gave you an answer to that question because I just don't know enough about your financial situation. I don't know how much money you're really cash flowing. Yeah, and I don't know like your individual goals for your business and for your family and for your investing. So for me to tell you like here's exactly when you stop snowballing profit back into your business, I just can't say that, right? For me, all I can tell you is what I do and why. So I take out a paycheck for my business every month, right? My business is set up as an S corp, so it runs as a business on an EIN number, and I am a W-2 employee for my business. So I take out a consistent paycheck from my business every month. But I'm full time. I've been full time for over 5 years now, and that's just what I do. I have increased that paycheck as time has gone on, but the paycheck is always less than what I'm making in profit. So I continue to build up my business bank account, which allows me to be aggressive with purchasing stuff and not worrying about, bills and stuff like that. So I can't give you an exact answer to your question, but I think it is a great question to ask. I'm just probably not the right person to give you an answer. All I can tell you is what I do and why. So hopefully that helps. Armstrong, slow weekend, only 5 sales, but I did get a Peter Millar Crown Crafted Nude tag and a G4 today. Look at that. That's a great start to the week. Nice pickups. Evangela, scaling my business. Can you talk about your storage system and how you organize your inventory? Yes, I have like 70 some odd bins in my garage. They're all clear bins, 66 quart totes. So I have all that stuff, by the way, linked if you're on Instagram. So all you got to do is tap on my name and you can go to my profile and you'll find a link at my website. That's my recommended reseller supplies and tools. And I have the exact bins that I order for my business. They're clear bins, which makes it really easy to find items in them. And on every bin, I put a bin number on the front. So there's like I don't know if I have a bin with a number. Here is here's an example of it. This is a bin that's like not in use right now. It's one that I use for my shipping, but you can see it's just a clear bin. And this one, I don't know what that number was from on there, but at one point this was part of my inventory system. So clear bin, I fit about 30 to 35 items depending on what the items are in each one of these bins. And each one has a number right here, and I put that number on the SKU number on eBay. I list through Nifty, so I put that SKU number into Nifty, and Nifty adds that to my listings on eBay and Poshmark. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any follow-up questions to that. It's a great question. Had one of my best thrift weeks last week. Lots of good stuff. Brand new jeans and a Versace polo. Let's go, Desert Rain. Love hearing that. What's up, Mark, from a rainy Illinois? I'm sorry to hear you got a rainy day, although there's nothing wrong. We really need rain here in Nashville. So if you could send some of that our way. We have a mid-80s sunny day on tap today, just like yesterday. We're in like really drought conditions here in the Southeast, so we could use some rain. I really want the shelves you have behind you for my bedroom. Do you have it listed where you purchased? Do you have it listed where? So all my tools, including that thing that's behind me, are linked right here at this document that I just dropped in the chat. So you just got to click that link. It's my full list of recommended reselling supplies, and you'll find, I think I call that like my shoe rack. I think is what I refer to it in that list. So might want to check that one out. It's the exact one that is behind me. I'm starting to think my SKU system, infinite numbers, never repeating, isn't doable the larger I get. I'm about to start a 4th row, and considering consolidating is becoming a real pain. I feel you. It sounds like you use like that box system. I like it. Good afternoon. Glad I could catch you today. Your video yesterday was filled with some good finds. The 3 ponchos are a very rare find, let alone 3 in the same store. 3 back to back in the same store, in a store that I had gone to 2 days before that, by the way. So, you just never know what you're going to run into. I think I've found, and thanks for the compliments on the video. I think I've found 2 total ponchos in my entire history as a reseller at thrift stores, 2 of them, and I found 3 at one thrift store. If you haven't watched my most recent YouTube video, yesterday I dropped a thrift haul video. So sitting on the couch showing you 30 items that I grabbed from one thrift store last week. And it was a really good store. I got some brands that I don't typically find on a regular basis. So I think in some like really good high price stuff. So some good like high sell-through rate items. So a little bit of everything. There's some bread and butter in there, but I thought a good video with some good items. I was excited about that haul. I think you will be too. It was a good one for me. Mark, it's getting old, ain't it? Are you calling me old? Okay on W2 Insight, like it. Thoughts about when to switch to eBay store using Nifty, and with the relist getting over 250 towards the end of the month, I passed Nifty once I noticed. Debating posting less to balance current inventory. Okay, so one suggestion I would make here, I would not, I would not suggest posting less to avoid paying more fees on eBay. To me, that's back. I mean, I get why you're thinking that, but that's backwards thinking. You're talking about putting a ceiling and shrinking the ceiling on top of your business because you don't want to pay some fees. And I'm making some assumptions here. All I'm reading is like 3 sentences right there down below. But I always encourage people, don't avoid fees. Yeah, that's like cutting off your nose to spite your face. List all your stuff. Now, the decision on when it's time to go to a store, to me, I think is pretty simple. So you get 250 free listings per month. So to me, if you're listing if you have 260 listings, I'm not sure that that's the time, because I think you're paying 30 cents of it per item on an insertion fees over the 250. So if you're only at 260, right, and you're paying 30 cents for each one, that's only 10 listings. It's only $3. So is it worth getting an eBay store, which is going to get you to 1,000 free listing? Is it worth paying like, what is it, $20 or $25 a month to save 3? No, I don't think so. So once, you can do the math. What is it, like at 30 cents, you'd probably have to have 100 listings, right? And that would be $30. So to me, probably somewhere around 300 or 350 listings is probably when it makes sense to upgrade to that eBay, not the basics, whatever the second tier is of eBay store. That's where you get 1,000 free listings per month. So just do the math. And I think that math is somewhere around 300 and 350. Double check my math. I haven't made that decision in many years. So, but I would not avoid fees by listing less. You're just sort of, you're just it's like putting a wet blanket on top of the potential for your business. Well, why do that? What kind of business goals do you have? This year, I'm trying to double my bottom line from last year. And that's talking about like all my business activities. I'm trying to double my bottom line. So an aggressive year of goals for me this year. I bought a scale with your links, and it was offered for a lower price. I hope you got the credit for the purchase. Thank you for buying through my links. I do get like a 1 to 4% kickback if you buy stuff through my links on Amazon. So you still get the same low price. I just get a little bit of a kickback for that. So I appreciate that. But whether or not I got the credit for you getting the scale is not super, super important to me. It's probably a matter of cents, but I'm just happy that you got the right scale for your business. So that, in a good price, I like that. We need rain also. I hear you. Great. Thank you. You're welcome, Denise. To anyone buying those shelves behind Chris, make sure you attach them to the wall and each other. I've seen 2 different YouTubers show them collapse on them. I have them collapsed on me. I have 5. Okay, there you go. From Salt. Mine aren't attached to the wall, if that matters to anybody, but that seems like a good, safe move. How many items do you post per day? I don't do daily listings, but I list 70 to 80 items in most weeks. Good question, Adam. I've been a part-time reseller for about 2 years now, mostly women's clothing. Don't judge me. I've been following K-Way and Surfs for a while, and saw you pop up on my feed. Why would I judge you for being a part-time reseller selling mostly women's clothing? Most of the people who are watching this live right now are side hustler, part-time resellers, and I think that's really the sweet spot for flipping stuff on eBay and Poshmark. I think it's a great side hustle. I think it's great for stay-at-home moms. I think it's great for people who have to be caretakers for their family. I think it's great for people who maybe have barriers or obstacles to holding a job where they have to show up in an office every single day or be on their feet or whatever. Maybe it's folks with health challenges and things like that. I think this business is great as a side hustle. So yes, I do it full time, sure, but don't put me on a pedestal. The people who are full time just tend to have more time to put content on the internet and more time to flap their gums. But I think it's best as a side hustle. So those of you who are watching who are doing this part time, doing it as a side hustle, yeah, I mean, these lives, these videos, these posts are for you. I truly think that this is best as a side hustle. I've just happened to do it as my full-time thing, and that's a beautiful thing too. But I don't think you should put the full-timers on a pedestal. I put the part-timers, the side hustlers, I put y'all on the pedestal, to be honest with you. The rain, it's old here in Illinois. Gotcha. We need it down here. I said Illinois. It's old. We need that rain. Being dry and being in a drought is getting old here and could be really problematic if it continues when it comes to like the heat of the summer, wildfires, that sort of thing. We have a lot of downed trees in Western North Carolina, thanks to a little storm we got a year and a half ago. So there is a lot of stuff that is ready to burn here, and a lot of dry soil, and a lot of low creeks, low rivers. It is super drought time right now. I do a lot of estate sales, but I want to get more into men's bread and butter brands and styles when I go to the bins and thrift stores. I like it. It's good to kind of round out and learn other categories that you can stack into your business. You're already at the store, so you're already digging through the bins. You might as well grab some men's stuff too. I like it. My thought, pay to play, i.e. eBay store. Yep, I'm with you. Sold 2 Patagonian shirts, one Pataloha fly fishing print for $170. Oh, wow. 170 is crazy, Mark. Great sale. I love that you said Patagonian. It reminded me of this old garage sale video from a couple years ago that I did, where the woman that I was buying the shirts from called them Pandagonians. She's like, I got some Pandagonian shirts if you like those. And I got a good kick out of that. She was a nice lady, and she drove a really hard bargain. But I got some nice Pandagonians from her. That makes me laugh. To be fair, Chris, they lasted 3 years before they collapsed. The plastic joints broke under the weight of the shoes on them. Gotcha, Salt. Be safe out there with these shelves. Be safe. Do you sell golf clubs? If you do, what weight do you use for your shipping? I do. I don't sell a lot of golf clubs. It's been a long time since I listed one on eBay. What weight do you use for shipping? Mark, I'm not sure what question you're getting at. I would probably put the weight of the club. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Is this a trick question? I would put the weight of the club. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe there's a follow-up question that needs to happen there. I'm full-time, and the part-timers who also have a job. I'm full-time, and the part-timers who also have a job. I promise you all work harder than me. Gotcha, Emma. Gotcha, Salt. Salt is just chilling over there. Chris, I bought into a store tier. I sell everything toys, media, clothing. On that tier, on media, video game CDs, DVDs, and clothing, you can sell 10,000 items a month. Nice. If it helps, I just upgraded to the second level store to allow 1,000 listings when I hit right around 300 listings after breaking down the financial sense. So Matt is making the suggestion that the math comes in right around 300 listings is when it makes sense to jump up to that second eBay store tier and get the 1,000 free listings per month. So hopefully that helps. Thanks from Matt over on IG. Glad that you think some of my stuff is funny. We've shipped 1 item in all this time. How long have we been live? Y'all are chatty today. I like it. It has been 22 minutes and 45 seconds. We have shipped 1 item. That's going to be a long live if I keep up that ratio. So keep the comments coming. Love the questions. Love the conversation. But I'm going to also do some work at the same time too. Got a pair of Charles Tyrrell. See if I can show you the logo here. It's probably hard to see. Charles Tyrrell pair of dress pants right here. Pants do a little bit better than the shirts, meaning they sell typically for a little bit more money. The shirts, I'm more in like the $15 to $19 range. The pants are more in like the $20 to $26 range. So this was actually sold on a nifty best offer. So $23.40 plus $8.95 shipping on eBay. I paid $5 at a thrift store for this pair of pants. What I mean by that nifty best offer is my cross lister, my AI tools, my automation tools is all through a program called Nifty. So Nifty, I have it programmed to send offers to people who watch or like items 10 minutes after they hit that like button or 10 minutes after they hit that watch button. So in this case, Michael watched this item on eBay, these Charles Tyrrell pants, and 10 minutes later, Nifty sent a 10% off offer, and that closed the deal at $23.40. So I had these listed for what, like about $26, probably $25.99, and took that off, or that offer automatically happened. So that was Saturday. I don't remember when that sale came in. Kim and I were out and about when that came in somewhere. We went out and had some dinner with friends on Saturday. It was a good time, and I edited a YouTube video during the early day hours. That video is live up on YouTube if you want to go check it out. I didn't drop a link to YouTube for folks. So here's a link if you want to go check out that new, don't leave now. But here's a link if you want to go check out that YouTube video that I dropped just yesterday. Good little haul. I shared with you everything I found. Again, not a highlight reel. I try to show as much about the reality about reselling. That one happens to be a little bit of a highlight reel just because it was a really good thrift haul. But I also got some bread and butter and stuff in there too. Try to keep it real with y'all. I'm typing so fast, I'm accidentally hit the send button when I'm trying to backspace. Spelling error, no problems. I get it. I make a lot of typos in a lot of my posts. You probably see that. What's up, Andy from Clemens? Nice. I bought your Hooper's Creek, and I'll be back to try the Black Mountain soon. Great stuff. I appreciate that. I had actually, I still have a little bit of this is my second cup of coffee, cold brewed. This is the Black Mountain Dark Roast right here. But I appreciate that, Andy. If anybody's curious, they want to check out our fair trade, organic, small batch, freshly roasted coffee, all the words, top shelf coffee here. I'm going to drop the link to my coffee website right there. If you have any questions, let me know. We have 3 different roasts of coffee. You can see them behind me, a light roast, a medium roast, and a dark roast. It's all fair trade. It's all organic. And it's roasted fresh every week. Just got a batch on Friday. So the office today smells of freshly roasted coffee, which is my office always smells like coffee, but the first few days after a roast, it smells like delicious coffee in here. If you have questions about coffee, let me know down below in the chat. Always happy to talk coffee. That's my side hustle. Auction Zip is the best site to find estate sales. Go after ties and belts and boxes. You usually don't pay more than $5 to $10 a box. I just did it recently. Ended up with 80 FootJoy belts and Coach. Nice, Flag City. I like that. Auction Zip, huh? Any words of wisdom or caution with that site? Like things to specifically look for, things to avoid? I just went to the site. I can buy. They have a septic pumper truck featured on an upcoming auction. A septic pumper truck. I can smell that from here. Just looking at a septic truck. I can also get some sort of John Deere tractor for $24,000. Who's buying a septic pumper truck? I guess a septic company. So interesting. I'll have to check out Auction Zip. Thanks, Flag City. I'm promoting at 7%. Not sure if it's enough. The best thing to do is just to sort of experiment. So what works for you might not work for somebody else. So see if 7% works for you. If it doesn't, try 8. I'll just tinker around with it. There's no secret answer right there. Everybody's store is a little different. Your inventory mix is different. Your pricing strategy is different. Your photos are different. Your listing quality is different. Some people cross list. So it's hard to make a recommendation on what's the best promotional rate. It's going to be different for every store. What's up, Josh? Would you say Nifty pays for itself with the automation features? I mean, look, I pay $70 a month for Nifty. And typically within the first day or 2 days of the month, Nifty has already paid for itself. And I'm not saying in the extra sales that I got in those first 2 days, the extra profits that I got in those first 2 days from automation tools, from the cross-listing features, and never mind the time it saves me, because I list all my items using the Nifty AI listing tool, which sounds, I know if you've never used AI for listing, it sounds like you're like, oh, it's like this fancy, silly stuff. Look, it works great. You take the photos of your item, you take photos of the item, photos of the measurements, and you just drop those photos into Nifty, and Nifty writes the item title and writes the description with a whole bunch of really good keywords. It's great. It even identifies, oftentimes it identifies the model of items that I don't even know the model. I've been doing this for years. I actually have an example of this. There's a Patagonia shirt that's going out today. I've sold this Patagonia shirt, the same style, maybe a dozen, maybe 2 dozen times, something like that. Really common Patagonia shirt. I never knew what the name of the model was. And Nifty just dropped that right in the item title, dropped it in the description. I think they called it the Patagonia Backstep. I've never heard that before. I didn't know. So in some cases, look, it's great to have experience and have knowledge and have know-how. I can recognize a lot of models of clothing. There's a pair of Eddie Bauer Rainier pants that I sold today. I can recognize those Rainier pants right away in the store. And I know the model. There's things like that you just know from experience, but there's some things that you just can't know at all. And so some little things like that from Nifty make a big difference, because somebody could be looking specifically for that backstep shirt, and because that specific item name is in the listing. I mean, that could have helped me sell that item. I think, backstep. And I think that shirt sold really quickly too. It's not a great seller. It's just kind of an average seller. Patagonia, it sold in 18 days, that particular shirt. So anyway, I list everything through the AI listing tools. It speeds things up, but it does way better keywords and descriptions than I can, because I just don't know the names, like the models of all these shirts, even ones that have sold dozens of times. No clue. So does it pay for itself? Yes, it pays for me that $70 in extra profits, either in the first or the second day of the month. And then I have another 28 or 29 days of that month where it's basically working for free for me. So if you break it down, I have 1,400 listings. Let me go. I think it's 1,450 listings right now. So if I break down that $70 divided by 1,450 listings, like let's see what this actually costs me. It costs me 4.8 cents per listing. Now, if you have half that many listings, right, and you have like 725 listings, then it's going to cost you 9.6 cents per listing. I mean, if you think about that, that's literally pennies. And what I'm saying is it saves me time every single day. It gets me extra sales every day. I show up higher in search results because of the automation. The AI is allowing me to list quicker. The listings are better because they have better keywords, because the AI is smarter than me in a lot of cases. And it's doing all that sharing on Poshmark constantly. It's sending offers constantly. It's, there's certain things that computers can just do better than humans. In sharing 8,000 items on Poshmark, a computer is better than me at doing that. A computer is better at immediately sending offers to people who like and watch my items 10 minutes after that happens. I can't just sit there and stare at my phone and wait for people to like and watch items. A computer can do that. So, yes, I mean, it just, for me not to have Nifty would cost me tons of dollars in sales every single month. If I look at just Poshmark, and I didn't drop my link. I'm supposed to drop the link. I'm not good at advertising here. I'm going to drop the link. This is if you want to try Nifty for free for 7 days. I just dropped that link down below in the chat. If you're on Instagram, all you got to do is just click on my name, go to my profile, and you'll see that same link for a free trial of Nifty and 15% off your first month if you decide to sign up. It's 7 days, like no commitment trial, right? No strings attached. You can just try it out and see how it works for your business. And you get to try all the tools. You get to try the AI listing if you want to. You get to try the cross listing. You get to try the automation. You can see how the analytics works and all that stuff. And you can make a good decision, a good business decision, if it makes sense for your business or not. But I got the all bells and whistles one $70 plan. I've had it for 2 years, that same plan, and I swear by it. Yes, I promote Nifty. Yes, I get credit if you sign up through that link, and I get a little piece of the action, of course. But I still pay for Nifty every single month for my own business. I use it every single day, and I believe in it. So I'm happy to promote products that I use every day and that I love. And that definitely describes Nifty. If you have any questions about it, let me know. But it is it's a total game changer. If I look at just like my Poshmark sales, I've already done $4,400 in Poshmark sales just this month. And Nifty cost me $70 a month to cross list that. And that's just Poshmark. I also sell on Mercari. I'm selling on Whatnot now too through there and on eBay. But just this month, $4,400 in sales on Poshmark. So for me, that $70 fee that I pay a month to Nifty, it's like, sure, you could subtract that from $4,432 in sales, and it still leaves me with 4,360. And there's still like 12 days left, 13 days left in the month. I am not worried about that $70 fee because it just drives so much revenue and so much profit to my bottom line every month. It's crazy. Now, I know everybody's store is a little bit different, but all right, we talked about that. Trust me, the coffee is amazing. Thank you, TK. I appreciate the positive vibes. I appreciate all the support. I really do. It never is lost on me that y'all are nice to me. I don't know why you're nice to me, but I appreciate it. First time turning into the live. Love your stuff. Question: how do you manage inventory on hand, revenue costs, etc.? Reconciliation feels tedious with Nifty, Excel, etc. The best way for me to answer your question is I use Jason Hayes's Reseller spreadsheet. I've used it for years. I would just use Nifty because Nifty's analytics are really, really good, actually. But I also sell on platforms that aren't part of Nifty. So I also sell on Amazon. I also sell on my own website. And I also derive income from social media and creating videos and stuff like that. So I needed a tool that allowed me to track all that stuff too. So I use Jason Hayes' reseller spreadsheet. I have that linked. If you go to chris@peak.com, I have that linked there too. And there is a 10% off discount code. You'll find it. I'm just going to drop here's the link to my website, and you will find Jason Hayes's. I guess let's do this. It's actually linked in this document. That's the easier place to find it. So all my recommended reseller tools are linked right there, including Nifty, including Jason Hayes's reseller spreadsheet. That's what I use for my business. And it works. That's, I guess, all I can say about that. If you have more specific questions, let me know. But I just used a spreadsheet to keep track of stuff, my cost and all that. Can you talk about how you organize your work days and week? What do you do each day, and how do you divide time between thrifting, pictures, and posting? Vangela, I appreciate that question. And I love that you think that I have this like really organized process. This whole operation is held together by bubblegum, duct tape, toothpicks, right? I just sort of like fudge my way through every week and kind of figure it out as I go. Is that the right way to do things? Maybe not. But I don't really like follow a specific schedule. Monday, I kind of have a schedule because I have this live stream. The rest of the week is kind of out there, and it changes based on the week. Some weeks I do travel to thrift where I'm gone for 2 full days. I'm on the road and staying in hotels, that sort of thing. So every week is a little bit different. I also do a ton of like, editing videos, posting videos, sharing content, responding to people who are commenting on content. So for me to describe like my day-to-day life would be, I don't know how relevant it would be to you, and it's going to be different all the time. So I just want to emphasize, like, I think a lot of people think small businesses or businesses in general, you from the outside looking in, you're like, this person has it all figured out. This is a really organized operation. They're well led, great team. Everybody's rowing in the same direction. The reality is I've worked in a lot of businesses and organizations. When you get in on the inside, that's usually not true. It's usually pretty chaotic. There's usually infighting. There's usually like things aren't like as efficient as you would think they would be. And you're like, why does this person even work here? There's a whole lot of that stuff. My business is no different than that. It's bubble gum, it's duct tape, it's toothpicks holding this whole thing together, and that's okay. We still do well, we still pay our bills, and we're still growing every year. So it's okay. Nifty is the best cross-listing tool I've used. Appreciate you saying that, Evangela. I keep saying that wrong. Tell me if I'm saying that wrong. Nifty saves me so much time. I agree with you on that. I still need to research where to sell these vintage sea turtle leather boots. This is part of my part-time gig with a full-time dog. It's a lot to maintain, but I'm saving for a financial goal. I like it, Melissa. You're doing great. Learning all the time, pushing through challenges. That's what this is all about. It's not always easy sailing, so to speak. I'm also getting that visual and olfactory senses from the septic tank truck. Yeah, sorry about that. Do you recommend it? It was with only average 350 items-ish. Do you recommend it when I only recommend 300? I think, and I'll stress this again, like I think Nifty is great. When I'm making recommendations for something like Nifty, I'm not making recommendations for full-time resellers. I do think it makes a lot of sense for full-time resellers, but mostly when I'm talking on here, I'm talking to people who are side hustlers, who do this, part-time, and run smaller stores. That's who I'm talking to. I'd say my typical person, when I'm thinking of who I'm talking to, I know there's 69 people in here, plus a few people over on Instagram too. But when you're talking to a large group, you have to go in with like the mindset of who am I speaking to down the middle, right? And to me, down the middle, like I'm talking to somebody who's got like 200 listings on eBay and Posh, that kind of thing, and they do it part-time on the weekends when they can, around whatever their other priorities are. That's kind of who I'm talking to. So I recommend Nifty for people. I've often said, look, if you have 150 items listed and you've already sold 150 things on one platform online, I think at that point it makes sense to consider Nifty. I think before that, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I want you to get to 150 sold and shipped items on one platform because I want you to have the experience of just going through the whole process of accepting offers, of shipping items, of returns and all that stuff. Learn one platform really well, and then sort of add other platforms in, which is going to add complexity to your business. But dominate one platform, get 150 items listed, have also sold 150, then it's time to maybe consider Nifty for your business. 350, 100%. That, you're looking at having your extra profits thanks to cross-listing and automation tools only to get you to $70 a month. And by the way, there's cheaper plans. There's like $35 a month plans as well. But for my full bells and whistles plan, $70 a month. So for me, I typically look at it like, all right, $15 profit items, which is really common for me, $15 profit items. I need to sell 5 extra items a month for Nifty to pay for itself with just the extra profits from those 5 items. Does Nifty help me sell 5 extra items per month? Yes. In fact, most days Nifty helps me sell 5 extra items. So it definitely pays for itself. At 350 listings, you are absolutely going to get more than 5 additional sales every month to pay for that $70 and then some. I think you'll get a lot more than that, to be honest with you. Of course, you have to do a lot of other things well. You still have to source good items. You still have to price those items right. You still have to take great photos of those items, describe them well, put in measurements if you're selling clothing. You still have to do all those things. So it's not like a cheat code for if you suck. And I'm not saying that you suck. But you have to do all those things, and then Nifty can help you take your business to the next level. But you still have to do things really well. You still have to do the fundamentals right. Nifty is a must for us. It's also considered a business expense, 100%. That is a write-off every month for me. Did you immediately start? I'm not sure what you're asking about. Did I immediately start? How do you know if it's giving you accurate info? I'm not sure what you're asking, Andrew. What's up, Andrew? Hope you're well. Paying yourself as an employee, did you keep building until you had a good profit margin? I hope this makes sense. Paying yourself as an employee, or did you keep building until you had a good profit margin? Okay, I started this business part-time. I had a full-time job. It paid me well. It was a great job. And I did this on the weekends. I usually went on Saturday mornings. I'd thrift at a really big thrift store. I'd be there for like 2 or 3 hours. I'd be looking up a ton of stuff because I didn't know what I was doing yet. And I made money from my listing, and I would have like anywhere between like 100 or 200 listings, right? When I was part-time, I did that for 2.5 years. I lived in Denver at the time, and I didn't have to take money out of my side hustle because I made enough money from my full-time job, and my wife had a full-time job. Like, we were doing really good when we lived out in Denver on our W-2 jobs. We both had really great jobs when we were out there. So my side hustle wasn't funding anything for us. It was just padding a business bank account. And that allowed me to, that when I did finally quit my job 2.5 years into my journey, that gave me, I built up this nest. We had no debt, and I had this nest of thousands of dollars that was in this business bank account that was separate from our personal finances, that gave me that cushion to take that leap of faith and quit my full-time job and go. So it's only then when I started paying myself out of the business when I went full time. I didn't need to. I was just in a good position. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't take money out of your business when you're part time. Sure, you might need to. A lot of people are reselling because they're filling an income gap that they need to fill. That's fine. Take what you got to do out of your business. I was just in a position where I was paid really well. Kim was paid really well. And we also didn't live above our means, and didn't have debt and didn't have fancy things. We always stayed lean and mean, and that allowed us to not take out of the business. But I understand that everybody's in a different situation. Love your videos. Part-time stay-at-home mom reseller here. Awesome, Bethany. Like, when I'm speaking to the audience, we got 72 people in here. I'm thinking of you when I'm talking about this stuff, and when I'm sharing advice. I'm thinking about folks who are like the stay-at-home mom reseller. I'm thinking about the person with a 40 or 50 hour a week job. I had a lot of 40-hour a week jobs that were not 40 hours. They were 50 plus. So I'm thinking about you, like working on the weekends and working around, taking care of the kids and all that stuff. I get it. I get you. Is there a video from where you shared how you scaled from part-time to full-time reseller? I'm not really sure that there's a video there. It would just be like, imagine any one of my videos where I go to a thrift store and I find something. Just imagine me doing more than that. I used to just do it on Saturdays. And then when I went full-time, I quit my job. I was like, well, I don't have any meetings Monday morning, so I guess I can go to thrift stores today too, instead of just on Saturday. Now, sometimes when I was part-time, I'd go on like a Wednesday after work. I'd sneak off. I'd hit one thrift store or two really quickly, right? But then all of a sudden, I can remember it was December of 2020, and I can remember that first Monday came around, and I was like, I guess I can do more sourcing. So it's just, to scale, it's just do more. I mean, that's unfortunately with this business, that's really what it is. It's, this business doesn't scale exponentially. It doesn't scale. Yeah. It's usually just put in more work, and it will grow. And of course, learning is the most important metric in this whole thing. Hustle is number two, but learning is if you can continue to learn more items that are valuable that you can flip online, that means every time you walk into a thrift store or walk into a garage sale, you can recognize more valuable things. And therefore your time spent there can be worth twice as much as you continue to learn. So number one, learn. Number two, move your feet more. And that's how I scaled. Chris, look at auctions based on zip code 50 to 100 miles. Try and do the in-person auctions so you can inspect what you want to buy. Focus on auctions that have a closet pictured. I like it, Flag City. I appreciate that advice on the auction stuff. That could be an opportunity for me. I didn't sell on Posh until I started using Nifty. Last year I did 11K in sales. This year so far I'm at 6,200. Yeah, it's worth it. Let's go. Talk about scale and salt. Let's go on it. Facts on automating your business. You have definitely opened my eyes, and we'll do this also with reselling. Yeah, man. I said, yeah, man. Sorry. Yeah, y'all. Any way that you can, especially as a part-timer, right? Any way that you can take some tasks off your own plate and put it on somebody else's is great. Most of you can't afford to have a part-time employee, but you can have something like Nifty for $70 a month. So think about it this way. If you were to hire somebody $20 an hour to work for your business part-time, you would only, for $70, you can only afford to hire them for 2.5 hours a month. So just hire somebody part-time, $20 an hour. You'd be able to pay them they'd be able to work for 2.5 hours, and that would be your $70. Or you can have something like Nifty that could be doing work for you every single day and helping you get extra sales. And it's $70 a month. Like, to me, it's like, what's more valuable? What's a better use of $70? Having somebody for 2.5 hours a month, or having a tool that can automate a lot of tasks and a certain task can just be done better by a machine than a person, frankly. I'm not going to pay somebody to sit there and like respond to offers. That would be crazy. It would be inefficient. You can find dozens of vintage clothing if you buy a full closet for 100 to 200. I'm starting to find more Band and Harley Davidson shirts this way. I bought 4 closets full of coats. One was full of Ralph Lauren. Nice, Flag City. I like it. I appreciate it, man. Great to see you. Great to see you, Mindy. Hope you're well. Never sure that you will be here, as I thought you were on the road, but I appreciate your commitment to be here on Mondays. I usually don't travel on Mondays for a variety of reasons, but probably the most important is I do this live on Mondays, and I try to stay committed to it. So appreciate you being here. Thanks for recognizing that. What is your least favorite part of reselling YouTube? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Least favorite part? I mean, nobody likes listing, right? Yeah, probably listing, I guess. Yeah, I guess. I think as long as you plan to get a certain amount of listings ready to list in a week, take care of the bookkeeping aspect and days time to source, it can be really good not to have things planned. There you go. I have my own tracker in Excel. Just curious, it's all manual for you as it is for me, tracking cost of goods, revenue, fees, etc. on a per item basis. I don't track cost of goods and fees or even revenue really on a per item basis. I do the revenue on a per item basis because it allows me to talk on these live streams and allows me to share numbers in a neat and clean way to y'all for teaching. I probably wouldn't have to do a lot of that if I wasn't a content creator, because what I do when it's tax time, and I like to know the numbers. Like, it's important to me to know the numbers of the business because that tells me what's working and what's not working, or what's working better. I like to compare this April to last April. I like to compare this May to this April and see my growth. I'm up like 30%, by the way, since April. It's crazy. I like that kind of stuff. I like having those numbers at my fingertips. That's why I like Jason Hayes' spreadsheet. It gives me a ton of metrics. But when I file my taxes, I'm printing out reports from eBay, from Mercari, from all the different platforms. I'm relying on those reports to create my, what is that? The thing that you for taxes. I do all that. What is it? It's called a Form E. You know what it is. Somebody's going to correct me, but I use reports like directly from the platforms. That's what I do. So I don't file my, I don't write down my cost of goods per item. I just kind of know because my local thrift stores have flat rate pricing. So I know like shirts I paid $5 for, but I don't write that down. I log my expenses based on the receipt. So I had a receipt. Here's some receipts right here. Here's my May receipts. So I'm going to write down This Goodwill receipt, I think, is $171. That was from that haul video that I did yesterday on YouTube. 171 bucks. So I'm just going to add this from my credit card statement. I don't even look at these receipts. I just keep them as like to keep them as just smart to keep records like that. But I go to my credit card statement and I just file that receipt. $171, put the date, put Goodwill, and then log it as cost of goods sold. So I don't do that for there's 30 items on this receipt. I just do it once. It's one line item for one receipt. Hope that helps. There's many different ways to do this business. That's just the way that I do it. At this point in your business, do you make more reselling or through content creation? They're both doing really, really well for me. I'll just say that, Adam. What's up, Carolyn? How are you? Do you use any kind of social media scheduler? Yes, but I only use it's the app on Facebook. It's called the Business Suite. That's what I use to schedule my Facebook and Instagram posts. But I used YouTube to schedule my YouTube, and I use TikTok to schedule my TikTok. I don't have one that like does all the platforms. I probably should, but I don't. Hopefully that helps. Me, what's up, Carolyn? How are you? In another resale forum, there is this idea that Nifty is overpriced and I've stopped pushing back as it's worth my time, but the time saved for me is 500% efficiency. I don't know who's coming up with that sort of like overprice. I guess it just depending on what everybody's business is going to be a little bit different. But let me say this: before I joined Nifty 2 years ago in April of 2024, so now 25 months ago, I had a cross lister, one of the leading cross listers, one that a lot of you used, and I had automation tools, 2 separate subscriptions. When I joined Nifty for $70 a month, I saved $10 a month. So I had 2 separate subscriptions. They were costing me about $80 combined. And I went to one and it cost me $70. So I saved $10 a month. But now I don't have to log into these 2 separate things. Those 2 platforms didn't talk to each other. Plus the automation tools on Nifty were better than, I guess over here, this is the automation tool that I was paying like $40 a month for. Nifty is better than that for automation. And also the Nifty as a cross lister is better than the cross lister I was using. So I got an upgrade and I saved money. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think the people who are probably saying Nifty is overpriced probably haven't used Nifty and maybe don't understand the breadth of like what Nifty does. If you bought like an AI listing tool in itself is going to be like $40 a month. Plus you're probably going to have to pay extra for credits. If you bought a automation tool, they range from like $20 to $40 just for automation. And if you bought a cross lister, it's probably going to range from like $30 to $60. And if you had like analytics tools built in. So to me, it's like Nifty does all this stuff that all these other apps do. But if you had all those other apps, it would cost you so much more money. Because back then, remember, I paid $80 a month for a cross lister plus automation tools, 2 separate programs. But I didn't have AI listing back then. So now I have Nifty, one platform, $70 a month, saves me $10 a month. And now I have the AI listing on it too. I mean, to me, I just don't think people, if they're saying that Nifty is overpriced, I don't think they understand the value proposition, frankly. When downgrading the store, Nifty has been super helpful, sending waterfall offers, keep track of inventory. I like it, Jamie. Good stuff. Well, not downgrading, but changing niches. Gotcha. Okay, I'm with you. I was wondering what you meant by downgrading, but now it makes sense. Nifty is a game changer for a part-time seller like me with 650 listed, but part-time, 5 hours a week. My goal is of paying for vacation every year. I can cross-list with minimal time. It pays for itself. There you go. What did you say a couple weeks ago, Nick? It's a $20,000 a year profit, right, from your side hustle that you put 5 hours a week in. It's really impressive, your operation over there, by the way. Can I use Nifty trial just to get my listings posted from eBay to Poshmark? You could. Eventually, it's gonna cap you out in the trial. So Nifty is not stupid. They want to give people the trial so that you could get experience using the product for 7 days for so you can see if it works. But Nifty is also not stupid, right? They're not going to let you cross list like 400 items during that trial so that you can just like then not give them any money, right? So it's not like hey, just come and like use our product for 7 days for free and cross list all your stuff. But if you went and cross listed like 40 or 50 items in that week, like a normal human behavior, it's going to allow you to do that during the trial. But no, if you just got the trial and you just wanted to, pump out 400, 500, 600 listings, it's going to cap you. And I think that's super smart because it's a business, not a charity, right? What's your opinion on new tags, collar and co pants? I like them. What question do you have specifically? I'm not sure. I mean, am I getting them for $1? Am I getting them for $30? Right. The details there matter. Saying hi. What's up, Edward? Always appreciate you popping in. Appreciate all your commentary and your thoughts and your good vibes. Safe travels home from Myrtle. Hope you had a nice time. Thank you for answering my question. You're welcome, Bethany. Photographing for me. I hear that. I'm just starting, only 25 listings, but 2 sales already. About probably another 75 to list. Let's go. As part of us, I am more motivated to do the sourcing. I am struggling with the organization. I hear you. It's got to come with time, just like anything, right? Just like anything, it's got to take some time to get good at anything, right? So you're doing great. You got 25 listings up, you got 2 sales, but you're right at the beginning of this whole journey, right? So to expect to have like your organization really dialed, to have a listing process that's really dialed, a shipping process that's really dialed, I don't think that that's realistic. Now you can get there. I just don't think that like after 25 listings and 2 sales that you're gonna be there. So just keep working at it. You'll get there. And it's just experience is the best teacher. So keep at it. Return ? I'm lost, Andrew. I'm sorry, brother. 1099. Do you use Nifty reports? Schedule C. I don't use the Nifty report. Piece of scrap when we talked about this earlier. I also sell on Amazon, my own website, and I get income from social media and stuff too. So Nifty can't track all of that. So I can't just create that report out of Nifty for my business because I need to also have all those other stuff tracked, which Nifty doesn't track. So Schedule C is what I was looking for. Schedule C. Thank you, y'all. Appreciate that. I had a conversation with somebody that thinks Flip is much better than Nifty. I gave them lots of reason why Nifty is better, but they still didn't think so. Look, I'm not going to me, people are allowed to have their own opinion about what they think is better. Or, look, that's the beauty of running your own business. You can do it your own way. It's a beautiful thing. But if somebody actually thinks that Flip is a better product than Nifty, I mean, that's a person that just they've never tried Nifty. But again, everybody can, people can have difference of opinions. Maybe that person's business is a lot different than me. And there's something about Flip that's really helpful that I don't really value that much, but it's really helpful and important to their business. Maybe that's the truth. But to say objectively of like just looking at the 2 platforms, comparing Flip to Nifty, it's not really it's not a fair fight. Like they just don't have the same collection of tools. It's just a different, it's a different league. But again, maybe that person there's a couple of features that are specific to Flip that work really well for that person's business. And to them, that's really important. And that's why Flip's better. That could be true too, Cross listers made lots of mistakes because it needs to be open to delist. That is a thing for sure, Donna. That is a thing. What's up? How are you? Appreciate you being here. I always enjoy having you, Donna. Nifty is not competitive now due to improvements on other cross-lister sharing tool. Flip is my go-to, $9 a month. Everyone needs to find what works for them. Exactly. There might be some feature on Flip that you love that's really important to your business and that you really enjoy that feature. And that's why you're going to like Flip better. And that's totally fine. Chris, approaching local auction companies that don't have clothing pictured. Those are the auctioneers donating to Goodwill. You're going to the source before Goodwill sorts out brands. I like it. Thank you, Flag City. I think you know that I appreciate that commentary. Yes, 20 to 30K part-time, 5 to 10 hours max a week, and we go on vacations, but I have to be organized and efficient. I've seen your space, Nick. It is crazy organized. You can't see half of my office right now, which is in a current state of disarray, but I also sourced a lot of things over the last couple of weeks. But I know that you would not tolerate this sort of disorganization that I have going on over here right now. Kim doesn't really tolerate it either, for that matter. I do have a full-time job and another part-time job and reselling. I want to have a buffer of income when it's time for me to retire way down the road. I see 80-year-olds working part-time now to afford their bills. Yep, and some of them work at Goodwill. But yes, I feel you. I like what you're up to, Dora. And I can tell you're hustling. Full-time job, part-time job, and reselling. Let's go. Retirement's going to come soon for you. I think you're going to get there. Nifty's AI component can give you an auction plan to scale to any Nifty's AI component can give you an action plan to scale to any size you're envisioning based on the analytics it tracks. Interesting. I haven't looked at that. That's some pretty powerful information to have. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing, Armstrong. I did not know that was a thing. If I missed any questions or comments, I didn't do it intentionally, by the way. I think I did miss maybe a couple. Do you ever do store audits? My sale have been really slow. I have just over 500 listings, clothing and hard goods, crickets all weekend. I really don't do that sort of thing. I could. I'd have to charge for it just because I'd have to devote time for it. But right now, I don't even have the time to charge for it with all the different things I have going and juggling. So I'd love to do all the things, but the reality is I'm just holding this thing together with paper clips, toothpicks, bubble gum, some duct tape, and just trying to make it all work with what I already have. I don't sell many golf. I'm not saying that I won't do that in the future. It's just like right now, I can't add a single more thing to the plate, right? I don't sell many golf clubs, but when I do, it's actual size and weight. You have to keep the box under 48 inches tall or the shipping goes way up. Gotcha. Yeah, because then you get into the dimensional weights, which gets tricky. My issue with Flip is not remove the items that have sold properly and caused a lot of issues. It didn't connect items. A lot of their features are clunky and unreliable. It wasn't worth stressing. I feel that. I got 1,450 listings. I don't have time for mistakes from a cross lister or an automation tool, because those mistakes, you spend so much time sort of fixing those little things. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. But again, if you use Flip and you love it, that's awesome. You got to figure out what makes sense for your business. That's why they make chocolate, vanilla, all these, there's so many different flavors of ice cream. There's, your business, certain things are going to work better for your business than others. And sometimes it doesn't have to make sense. Sometimes it's just like, I like the way this thing works, and that's okay too. I do some things that are just like, this is the way I do it because this is the way I've always done it. And some people might disagree with that and think it's dumb. And I'm like, it works for me and I kind of like it. And maybe it doesn't make sense, but that's the way it goes around here. So there's nothing wrong with that. Not everything has to be like super logical, and you don't have to be right, and your business doesn't have to be better. I'm just gonna feel like there's I wonder if that helps. You don't have to be right, better, compete. I don't care what somebody else uses as a cross lister. If it works for them, I'm freaking happy for them. Just want everybody to make money and crush and retire early and enjoy their lives and all that stuff. Next order. Gosh, we've been talking. Next order, good one right here. Lauren Ralph Lauren. I know a lot of people hate Lauren Ralph Lauren. They say it doesn't sell, whatever. Hey, it sells for me. I think I've sold like I think the number is like a dozen. I looked this up yesterday. I think I've sold like a dozen or maybe 14 Lauren Ralph Lauren blazers so far in 2026. This one's a size 38S. It is polyester, rayon, and linen, and you can tell by the colorway that this is very much a summertime blazer. Look at the buttons too, that light colored button, very much like spring summer style blazer right here with the linen and with the rayon and with that lighter color. This sold on a best offer of $39 plus the buyer paid $9.95 shipping. I paid $7 at a thrift store. Now I know some of you don't like listing blazers, right? You're like, I just don't like it. I don't like it. I fight with Surfs all the time. Surfs doesn't like listing blazers. Doesn't like it. So what do? I text them all my blazer sales. I don't know if I've texted them this one. I probably should. I love selling blazers because I can get them for $7 and I can list them. I can sell them for 35 plus. This one sold for $39. So it's going to be over probably $25 profit on this item. Let's take a look. I'll give you the exact numbers. We'll look in eBay. After fees and shipping, eBay's got to pay me out $29.40. I paid $7, so $22.40 after shipping, fees, and all that stuff. I love that. I love that margin. I don't find a lot of shirts that sell for $39. I just don't. But I find blazers pretty consistently that sell for $39. So I like grabbing them. But I know some of you will be like, I hate measuring them. I don't have the room to store them. I don't mind measuring them. And I got the room to store them. So it works for me. Out the door. We have, I think my best sale of the weekend was actually another blazer. So there you have it. And that's usually true, by the way. Usually my best sale of the weekend is going to be a blazer. I've had Nifty for 4 months now, and I've sold 300 items, went from selling 3 to 4 a week in the last 2 weeks. I've been Went from selling 3 to 4 a week in the last 2 weeks. I've been averaging 5 to 8 items a day, about 7 items. I don't know if I'm following this right. Hold on, there's a lot of numbers here. I've had Nifty for 4 months now, and I've sold 300 items. Went from selling 3 to 4 a week in the last 2 weeks. I've been averaging 5 to 8. So I think I'm not really sure what you're saying, Mark, but you might have to repeat that for me. I'm not tracking, which it's probably me, not you. I don't like all the measurements for blazers, but I enjoy the other part of listing blazers. There you go. Every other part. I gotcha. I'm with you. This week, I'm going to try and get 200 new listings up this week. That's a big week, 200. I've been busy with work and traveling last few weeks, so I need to buckle down. I like it. I don't know that I've ever listed 200 in 1 week. I'm going to have to think that through. Unless it was like a retail arbitrage haul with like a whole bunch of multi-quantity listings. I don't know if I've sat down and done 200 listings in a week. I've done 100, I've done 120, I've even done 130, but I don't think I've done 200. That would be a monster week. My eyes would glaze over. I hope you can do it. I love it for you regarding profit. Yeah, I love the margins. Thank you, Marie. My best find ever is a blazer, a Peter Moir that sells for a few hundred. Love that. Go, Mark. Sorry, Mark, it's probably a big win. I just didn't understand it. I was like trying to read through it. I don't know. It's not easy when you got a few characters. You're live, you're doing all this stuff. Mark, it sounds like you're doing great, though. Next up is a Travis Matthew pair of shorts. Brand new tag, sold for $23.99. These used to sell for a lot more money. I bought a whole bunch of these, and some of them were selling when I first got them, like in the $35 range, 35 to 40. Now I'm just happy to get rid of them for 24 bucks. Definitely seen the market change on Travis Matthew, not in a good way, but like anything, if you get it for a good price, there's money to be made. I think I still made money off this. I want to say I probably paid $10 for these shorts, so I still made money. It's not much money. I liked it better when they were selling for like 35 plus, but here we are, $23.99 plus $6.95 shipping for these. I picked these up retail clearance. Next up is, don't go running out of here buying all these, every Allen Flusser that you see. I probably pass on 99.99% of this brand. Maybe 99.999%. But I always pick up Paisley shirts from this brand. This one's not Paisley. It's got this what is that flower? Is that a poppy on there? This was a floral one, so I gave it a go. Nice colors. Figures that this would sell in the middle of May. Kind of got middle of May vibes. Probably priced it up a little bit too high. I had this priced at $24.98. It sold for. Sold for full asking price, but so probably priced a little bit high if I wanted to move that quickly. But men's size medium. I love the Paisley ones. Paisley ones sell well. Usually like 20 to 25 bucks in that range. So I gave a flower one a go and it sold. So there you have it. Sorry, the period got in the wrong spot. Voice. I gotcha. No worries. I'm not mad at you. You know that. I want to celebrate. It sounded like wins over there. I want to celebrate your wins. Even if I don't understand them, I can still clap for you. I can do that. So this is going to Terry. Terry's in Lafayette, Indiana. Keep those questions and comments coming. I love to hear how your business is going. I love to answer your questions. I'm going to move and groove here a little bit on some. So we got 3 back-to-back golf polos going out the door here. 2 of them are the same exact one. So got another Bad Birdie. Finally lowered the price on these. I think I found the sweet spot on the price, and they've been starting to move over the last week or so. So this is a men's size, extra large, Bad Birdie, brand new with tags. Retail, I think, is around $80. And this one sold for a nifty best offer, $25.20. So this is another example of Nifty's automation tools getting me a sale that I otherwise probably wouldn't have had. Who knows? This guy, Eric, might have been shopping. He might have looked at your same exact shirt, the same Bad Birdie. He might have watched it on your store too, and he was like, I'm going to think about it. Nifty sent that 10% off offer. He was like, you know what? For $2.70 off or whatever, I'll grab that shirt. And I got the sale because I sent that offer nice and quick before he went and bought it from someone else, before he went to Poshmark or Amazon or whatever. I got the sale. In the e-commerce world, they call that like an abandoned shopping cart or abandoned cart. And they'll do a whole bunch of things to get you, like they're like, we know you're interested in this item. You put it in your cart, and they'll do anything they can to get you to close that deal, including sending you like, discount offers, reminders, all that stuff, because they don't want to let sales go to interested shoppers. Amazon, like if I look at something on Amazon, they're sending me reminders. Hey, you had this in your cart, or hey, you clicked on this item. Is it time for another look? They don't want to lose interested shoppers off the hook. They want to close that deal. I'm the same way. That's why I like Nifty's automation tools right there. I keep telling myself I won't source much in a week, and then I buy another 30 to 50 items. Hey, that's good. Keep the items rolling in. Next up is an Eddie Bauer pair of pants. These are the Rainier Tech pants. This is just basic Eddie Bauer. This isn't Eddie Bauer Travex. This isn't Eddie Bauer First Ascent. This is just Eddie Bauer. But this model of pants, the Rainier Tech pants, have been a good seller for me. And these sold for $25.99. My full asking price on these. I don't pick up much stuff from Eddie Bauer, especially like basic Eddie Bauer. But these hiking pants, these Rainier Tech pants, have always been a good seller for me. Like kind of like sneaky good one. So don't sleep on hiking pants from Eddie Bauer, especially if they're Travex or if they're First Ascents. But even the basic ones sell well, and this is a great time of year to sell hiking pants. It's one of my best selling items in the store this time of year. Even into the summer, people will be buying hiking pants. This is a men's size 40 by 32. I paid $5 at the thrift store. These sold for $25.99. This is basically like my business in a nutshell. They're like, what do you do? I'm like, I buy stuff for $5. I sell it for $25.99. And that's it. Check. Oh, did I miss? Did I get that out of order? Did my shipping labels out of order? Hold on. I think these got messed up. Before I fix this up, I got a comment over the weekend. I want to tell you about it. It was on a pair of pants that I sold for $25.99 that I paid $5 at the thrift store. So guy comments on this post. And again, remember, these posts are not for flexing. They're for teaching. I was like, hey, this is a good thing to look for. They're Wrangler. They have double knee. Like everybody walks right past this type of item, but this is a good consistent seller. Look for double knee in a lot of brands. So it's a teaching post, right? And this guy comes in. He's like, you probably made what, like $15 on that item after fees? I was like, yeah. Yep. And he's like, just kind of goofing on me that I would sell something to make a $15 profit, And I was like, okay. He's like, actually, I'm coming up to Asheville this weekend. So maybe we can meet up and you can show me your $15 payout from that item. I was like, man, it's really strange behavior to worry about another man's bank account. But sure, we can meet up and I'll buy you a cup of coffee or a beer. Of course. Crickets as soon as that happens. This is the second time that's happened this year where somebody's like said that they're coming up to Asheville and they want to meet with me and they want to tell me something, right? Second time that I've said, yeah, I'll meet up with you and I'll even pay. I'll buy the cup of coffee. I'll buy the round of beers. Second time. And both times do people get really, really quiet. So these people, these trolls, these unhappy people on the internet, man, these people, they don't care about you. They're just angry with stuff in life. He doesn't actually want to confront or talk to me about business. He doesn't understand my business is literally built on the thing that he's making fun of, that I sold something to make a $15 profit, just like this sale right here. What he doesn't know, and I didn't tell him, but I would have if we met up, I would have been transparent about my business. I would have told him this is literally what my business is founded on. In fact, this year I'll probably sell more than 2,000 items that sell for less than $20 profit, and those will probably average me about $15. Like, just do some simple math. 2,000, maybe 2,200 items times $15 profit. That's good money right there. I'll also sell a bunch of stuff that will sell for more than $20 profit, and those will probably average, I don't know, a profit around $25 or $30. And I'll probably sell like 1,000 of those too. I mean, and it's just funny. You can't let people on the internet bother you, but I am happy to go meet with somebody if somebody wants to talk tough on my account and put me down in public, I'm happy to meet with these people. But both times this year that somebody has said that they want to meet with me, they proposed it first. They said, I'm coming up. I want to meet with you. I'm going to talk to you. I want you to show me your payout. I was like, yeah, I'll pay. Not only will I meet you, I will pay. And both times the people get really, really quiet because these are people, they're usually vintage t-shirt bros who live in their parents' basement, and they flipped one band tee for $100 on Depop. And they think that, they got a PhD in business now because they flipped like one item for $100. Cool, man, you found a vintage band tee. It's not like I've never sold one of those before. And then they make fun of you for the $15 profits. Like, brother, I have been working for myself now for 5.5 years based on that exact flip. $5 into 25, man. Hate it all you want. And yeah, I will absolutely use that $15 to buy a round of coffees or a round of beers next time you want to come up and talk smack, but they never want to meet. And this has happened for years and years and years. I'm happy to meet you. But twice this year, they're coming up to Asheville and they want to talk to me. And I'm like, yeah, I'll buy. And they get real quiet. Be proud of y'all's business and don't expect other people to understand it. I keep telling myself I won't source much in a week. Oh, I already got that one. Chris, once you go to those estate auctions and find some Italian suits or vintage Levi's, action suits from the 80s, the light bulb will cook in your head. I got it, man. I appreciate you, brother. I have quite a few Travis Matthew pieces that never move or get much interest. I've been considering lotting them all together and auctioning them off. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a brand that's sunk. Sell-through rates are down, which means sale prices are down too. Do you promote all your listings on eBay? I do, Jack. I do. Like doing your coffee, my other hustle is selling vintage brass bridge lamp replacement parts. No way. I never even heard of such a thing. That's awesome. I restocked last week and listed 400 plus items. I love that, man. That's cool, Adam. I never heard of that before. Resort vibes on that shirt. There you go. Had a boring Travis Matthew polo with some holes listed and someone sent me an offer for $2. I ended the listing. Old pickup from my early days. There you go. It happens. We all make mistakes. What's up, Frenchie? How's the weather in Paris, brother? I started wholesale buys. Most of the inventory is worth listing, but I'm left with 100 pairs of jeans that have lower STR and ASP, probably $10 each. In your opinion, still worth listing? Just kind of depends. I don't really have an opinion on that. I don't really know much about that wholesale world where you're buying a whole bunch of things. You sell off 90% of it. 10% is not worth that much. What am I going to do with it? I'm not really sure. Because it's just not my game. But I think there's probably more than one right answer for that. That's scary, creepy. The lights just flashed, by the way. Like the power just kind of half a second flashed, which makes me really scared. And I not scared for my life, but I just didn't want the router to click off. I think we're good. I hope it doesn't happen again. It's not really windy. It's definitely not stormy. The sun's out, so I don't know what's going on. Yes, they send texts and emails on that abandoned cart. Wow, on that weird comment. Yeah, he was probably from France. Yeah, there you go. Was the Eddie Bauer pants from the Sunday video? If so, that's a fast turn. No, I haven't listed anything from that video yet. Not one single thing from that haul has made it to eBay yet. Here's my address, Butch. I need a good workout and busted a head in a long time. Exactly. I'm not going to go fight these people. But I'll buy him a beer, I'll buy him a coffee, and we can just talk. He can tell me about the one vintage t-shirt that he sold. He can tell me about his 11 sales from the past month and how he has a vintage, now he has a PhD in reselling because he sells 11 items per week. He maybe even sold an old pair of Adidas track pants or something like that. And, these people think that they're they got it all figured out. These people are just frustrated with life and they want to take it out on other people. And I'm happy to be the one you take it out on. I'm not going to be pushed around on the internet by somebody who lives in their parents' basement and sold 7 t-shirts last week and a pair of Adidas track pants on Depop. They're like misbehaving kids. They just say things to get attention. They try to find fault in others to make them feel better about their failures. Exactly. Come on, brother. I'll buy you a beer and you can tell me all about your failures and I'll let you cry in your beer and I'll buy it too. You can all learn from you how to deal with these types of people. You shouldn't argue with people on the internet. You probably shouldn't behave like I do. But man, I don't know. I don't respond to 99.99999% of people who say negative things. But every now and again, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to respond to this one. Is that what I got to do to wake up? Yes, it's exactly what you got to do. Come make fun of, because to me, I see it as I have all these people who follow me who love $5 into $25 flips. And when this guy comes in and insults that, I'm like, well, hold on. There's all these people out here who are literally paying their bills and like, building for their future on exactly what I'm showing them. And the people like this kind of stuff. I think you like the $5 and a $25 flip. So when somebody comes and insults that, it's like, you're insulting my friends who do this and they like this stuff, It sure is, Adam. If you come to Nashville, Tennessee to thrift, I would meet up with you or to look at your bank account, but to watch you thrift, or to look at your bank account, but to watch you thrift and eat, I will buy the tacos. There you go. I like it. Appreciate that. That's kind of you. Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I think worrying about another man's wallet or another man's bank account is very, very strange behavior. But if he wanted to look at my bank, it's not something that I do. Like, I don't talk about like annual sales numbers or monthly sales numbers or my bank account. It's not something I do. I just don't want to me, that's not what this is about. To me, all these lives are about people who are doing this as a side hustle to try to fill an income gap, or, this is what they got to do because they can't have a traditional job because they're taking care of kids, or they're taking care of parents, or they're taking care of a family member, or they have the health concerns. Like, that's who I'm talking to on these lives. Yeah. So that's why I don't really talk like those big numbers, because I don't want those people to be like, oh, this isn't for me. He's talking about like big numbers and big sales, and this live is for you. If you are any of those, part-time side hustle or all that stuff, this live is for you. It's not about big numbers. And that's why I don't share numbers. By the way, I don't share piles of, I can't remember the last time I shared like a picture of boxes. I don't like doing it. Like a picture of bags. There's people who do this, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just telling you, I feel weird about it. So if I have like a big sales day or a big sales weekend, I don't share a picture of packed up packages like this and say like, hey, check this out, I had a great weekend. There's nothing wrong with doing that. I just don't feel right doing it. To me, if I'm going to share a post like that, I want to share something that you can walk away with and it'd be helpful in your business. And I don't think looking at a pile of packed up clothing is going to help you with your business. Maybe it's motivation. There's nothing wrong with that post. I just don't like doing it personally. So that's why when I have like a sales day, I'll show you every single item not in the bag, and I'll show screenshots of every single share of every single sale, so you can see exactly what's selling. But to me, I don't like to flex on like the big numbers, because that's not what this channel is about. I just want everybody, I want you to come into this live and I want you to say like, man, I'm going to grab those Rainier Tech pants in the future. That's a good little 5 and a 25 flip, and you can find 6 or 7 times this year. And, that can make you 15 times 6. What is that? 15 times 6 is, $90. That can make you $90 extra profit this year just from that one little thing that you walk away with. I know many of you know probably 90% of what I'm shipping out today. You'll probably already know. But I always hope that one of you kind of learns like one little thing like that. One little trick. I think I messed up this order, by the way. I think I got out of order here. So this one is the Eddie Bauer pants. They're not going to Mark. They're going to Kieran. Got that messed up. So let's print out a new shipping label for Kieran. Thank you, Kieran. We're going to make sure you get your pants and not something else. Y'all, don't fight with people on the internet. You never win. I really wanted to meet that guy for a beer. And I wanted to show him. If he wanted to see my eBay payout, I'll show him my eBay payout. And I'll buy him a beer with it. And maybe I could teach him a thing or two. Maybe he could teach me a thing or two, since he sold 7 T-shirts last week, including a pair of Adidas track pants. Maybe he could teach me. I want some women reseller. I watched some women resellers that can't take someone offering them a lower price more than twice before blocking them. Yeah, I think some people get a little sensitive. They get too emotionally attached to their stuff. People are just trying to get deals. It's snowing in Wyoming. Get out of Dodge. That's crazy. Chris, the best example of clothing buying troll I've ever heard. I sell vintage clothing buyers all the time. Most of them are under 20 and still don't understand Y2K clothing brands. Yeah, these people, these vintage people that are like 20 years old that are buying, they don't realize that like the stuff that they're buying is literally by definition the stuff that we wore 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It's like I might have actually worn that pair of pants. You might be buying my pair of pants that I wore in high school or college. And I think these people forget that it's like, I wore that. So yes, I'm, I very much understand that vintage item that you're talking about, because that's mine. I wore it. I think they forget that. And like, yeah, we understand the style because I wore that for years, like 20 years ago. Mandy, chicks are so bad. It's funny. Uh, about the 100 pairs of jeans, you could always save them to list in case you don't have much other inventory, or list one or two every other listings. There you go. You have options. Should have said not to look at your bank account. Yeah, I'll show. I mean, I don't talk about my bank account, but if this guy wants to drive all the way up to Asheville to see my bank account, I'll make an exception. I've never mentioned how much money I have in a bank account ever on a live. There's like a few people. One of them's, I mean, how many people really know? I don't even, my parents don't know what's in my bank account. Kim knows. It's important that she knows. Maybe one other person I mentioned. I can think of one other person just because we were talking. It was in the context of a bigger conversation in investing and all this stuff. And that was mentioned, but it was part of a bigger transparency conversation about two people just trying to figure out investing, like two bros. So maybe two people know how much money I have in my business account. Even people that I text with like on a multiple times per day basis that are also resellers, I don't even talk stuff like that with. It's just weird. Nobody talks about that stuff. It serves no purpose. There's no W from me sharing that. There's no positive. There's no teaching from it. I do social media videos with my Meta glasses of the estate sales I go to. I've met some cool other sellers doing that, but those trolls make me laugh and I feel important reading them. I hung out in a certain group, mostly ladies. I was in another auction and one of them messaged me and said, we don't support her auctions. I'm like, well, you're not in there. I am. Yeah, exactly. Just because some of your friends don't like another friend doesn't mean that you can't like that. Yeah, it's make your own decisions. Be an individual, right? Some track pants on Depop do so good. So, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. I have no problem with selling track pants on Depop. It's a beautiful thing. What's up, Costanza Shop? The next time I go to Marion, North Carolina, stop in your area and show you out of print DVDs. You can pull 20 to 80 profit from them. I like it. Flag City. I like it. Can you show me your bank account too? People make fun of me bulk picking. All I have to say is I just picked up a vintage mirror worth a few hundred. Nice. Plus a framed autographed Giants picture, massive and beautiful. Gets better. New Brooks, $150 pair will work for me. Plus the used ones to sell. Nice. And Hoka, nice. I like it. Thanks for sharing, Carolyn. There are sellers that say 25 average is shitty. Not if you bought 20 of them and sold for $20. It's great, buddy. So many different ways to run this business, and I have no judgment on how anybody else does it. I just love seeing people win, and I'm not comparing myself to other people. The only person I'm comparing myself is to myself yesterday. Today, I'm comparing myself to myself yesterday or myself last week. Am I continuing to get better? Is my business growing? Am I learning every day? That's the only person that I compare myself to. It's the only one that matters. Nobody else cares. I'm comparing to people that are like, why are you comparing yourself to me? Who are you, man? Those people who don't know what other people deal with in life and why they have a real job, as they say. Exactly. Local buddy I follow, MOD and POP Thrift. We had some Xmas books on tape, Wilford Brumley or something. We got a whole box, $2 each. They average $90 as singles. Woo! There are videos. I like it. I love that. Defeating, honestly, to see huge piles of packages when I sell one. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with when people do those posts. I have friends who put those posts out, and I know that they do that with good intentions and good meanings. And by the way, this is a lonely business, right? Most of us work alone by ourselves. So I think you got to find ways to celebrate your wins. And, if you had a good weekend of sales, you got to find a way to sort of celebrate that sort of thing. So, I get it. I don't have a problem with seeing other people's posts like that. I just don't like doing it because I don't want any of y'all to be like, well, he's different than me. That's why I often, and you may or may not have noticed this, but I oftentimes will not tell you how many packages I have out, going out, not because I'm like, oh, I don't want them to know. I just don't feel like it pushes the conversation in any sort of way. I just want you to see cool stuff that I sold, and I want you to learn a couple. That's the whole purpose of this thing, right? Tips, tricks, insight, know-how, bolos, little things to look for. Me telling you that there's 20 versus 40 versus 60 packages, I just don't think does it. I do post those posts on occasion where I'll show you like how much sold in that day. I'll show you exactly what the items are with screenshots. I'll tell you the breakdown, cost of goods, fees, all that stuff. So you can get an idea of like, okay, cool. As I grow my business, what would this look like? Because I know some of you like, you might be selling like 1 or 2 items a day and you're like, I'm not really sure, like, what does it look like if I sold 15, like, what am I really making from that? And also I sell a lot of like lower profit items. And I like to show how those like stack up. You sell like 7 items that sold for, $12 profit each. Like, well, shoot, you do that every day, that 7 times 12, what's that, $84? $84. Like it goes down to your bottom line. Like those little ones add up too. It's not just the big home runs, the blazers that sell for $75 or the suits that sell for 150. Those little guys add up over the course of the year and bring real income. So I share with you those posts just to be as transparent as possible, but I don't want that to be in any sort of way to put y'all off. I'm just showing you what's possible, but I don't do photos of just closed up bags on the front door. I don't think it helps. My purpose being on here is to teach, and I don't feel like that teaches anything. All the little things you teach us just add up, just like all the small bread and butter things you sell. There you go. We're on the same page with that. You wanted to Indian leg rustle him. I don't know what that means, but I don't think I wanted to do that with him. Dodge is in Kansas, boss. I know, but it's fun to say get out of Dodge, isn't it? Wow, about snowing in Wyoming. Yep. Am I way behind on chat? Okay, I'm not too bad, I guess. I have been behind on chat today, haven't I? What's up, Crispy in the house? I missed you, buddy. Always flexing. Oh my gosh. What's up, Crispy? If you're still in the live, I might have missed your comment on. Sometimes I miss the Instagram comments because I have 2 comment feeds going on. It goes like this. And sometimes I miss the Instagram one because it's not as active. So if I missed you, Crispy Flips, sorry. Well, I guess you can't hear me if I missed you. Hope you have a good day either way. Oops. As a part-timer, I get more out of your shorts clips on YouTube at IG and other Facebook than some of your longer videos. Each clip will give me 1 item to research, and I like that. There you go. It's just like little bite-sized stuff. I'm glad you enjoy those things. I have thousands of postcards. They are all paid for from what I've sold. All free money. I like it. Have you had any sales on Whatnot since Nifty added Whatnot to their automation? I have. I believe I had to add a Whatnot category to my spreadsheet. I have sold 8 units on Whatnot since they opened that up. So 8, none this weekend, but I had a day, like Friday, I shipped out 3. Friday or Saturday, I shipped out 3 sales from Whatnot. So that's pretty good. On Mercari, all month, I have 8 sales. And I have all my items cross-listed on Mercari. I have less than half of my items up on Whatnot so far, and I have 8. So basically, like even Steven right now between Whatnot and Mercari in terms of units sold, but I have like less than half of my stuff listed. So I think, and we're not even through the month yet, right? So I think probably my guess is that Whatnot for my business, just based on what's happened in this first few weeks, I think it has the potential to be like 20 or 25 items sold per month with my 1,450 listings. I don't have a lot of data to come up with that, but I've sold 8 in just a couple of weeks here, a couple of 3 weeks with less than half of my items on there. So I think there's 20 to 25 sales a week potential. My best month so far this year on Mercari is 8, which is this month. It's tied with February for 8. So if I can do 3 times that on Whatnot, I'd call that a W. And it's like really no extra work for me when I'm doing the AI listing on Nifty. It's no extra work. It's like 2 extra clicks for me to list something on Whatnot in addition to the other platforms. So 2 extra clicks per listing. If that can get me an extra $20 to $25 or 20 to 25 units sold per month, I'll take that. I also think Whatnot is kind of what's next. So I see potential there that 6 months or a year or 18 months from now, that 20 or 25 could be a bigger number. You've been selling on Whatnot without doing shows. Yes, Crispy. Hope you're well, bud. Yes. Since Nifty added Whatnot as a platform that they now cross-list to, I've been cross-listing my items over to Whatnot, and I got 8 sales over there so far. So not crazy. but I see the potential, probably 20 to 25 a month, but we'll see. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know, especially once I get to like 100. Like if I have all of my items cross listed over there, maybe that would be a good goal for the rest of May, so that I can start June with all of my items available on Whatnot. Might be a cool goal, but I also have a lot of other goals to got to focus on too. So we'll see. But I'll keep you posted on how that Whatnot's working for me. Get a real job. It's right. That's right. You got a real job. You got a really good job too. Oh yeah, I sell on eBay. People say, "Oh, you don't work." Yeah, I don't think people get it. This is like, yeah. Let's do this. So I have this little piece of paper here. It's hanging on my monitor, and it has a bunch of like the classic professions right here: teacher, professor, lawyer, dentist, doctor, CEO. And I have listed in the first column what their average salary is in North Carolina. So the state of North Carolina, where I live. So that's their average salary per year, is that first number column. The second one is the average per month. Obviously, it's the first column divided by 12. And the third column is how much they make per day, which is obviously the first column divided by 365. And I've had this hanging right here on my monitor in front of my face for, I don't know, I think I put this up here like last summer or last fall. And you got to find different things that motivate you. And for me, I've had people in my life who have all of these professions: teacher, professor. I have a lot of professor friends because I worked in universities, but teacher, professor, lawyer, dentist, doctor, CEO. I have close friends from each of these categories. I have acquaintances from each of these categories. And generally speaking, there's somebody that I know in my life that has those professions that I feel like, maybe it's not true, but I feel like they don't respect what I do. That I go to thrift stores and I flip stuff online, and that I make silly videos about it, especially to make silly videos on social media. All my friends are in their 40s and 50s, right? So the idea of like making videos on social media for a lot of these folks is kind of strange. We didn't grow up with this sort of thing. So I get it. But I've felt a slight from somebody from each of, people that I care about in my life that have each of those, jobs. And I felt a slight from those people, whether it was intentional or not. I feel like they don't respect what I do. There's some people who have those job titles who love what I do and ask me questions and respect my business too. But anyway, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to show them that I'm going to make more money than each of these people. And I like breaking it down to day and breaking it down to month, so I can see that I'm on track to beat some of these people. And so that's where my head's been at, is I got like a little hit list, so to speak. And it's not mean. I don't want to make more than other people. I don't want other people to, it's not about them. It's about me. It's like where I want to go. I'm not going to step on anybody's toes or shoulders or whatever. We're not in competition, but you got to find these little things to have a fire in you, so that every day you can wake up, even on days where you don't have motivation. You're like, what is something that's going to drive a fire under me? It's like, I look at those things and I'm like, man, that lawyer right now, he's probably stopping by the, lawyer's a great profession. I have some lawyer friends. They're great, but he's probably stopping by the dry cleaner because he's got to pick up all his shirts and his suits that he has to wear every single stinking day, and you got to find little things that motivate you. And that's something that I've found that has given me some motivation, particularly on days where you don't just wake up automatically every day with motivation. You got to find it. Whatever. That's a little thing. I shared it with you. I was floored, sold 5 items in Depop over the weekend. Whoa, 30 accepted offers with no sell through. Yeah, that's the Depop I know and love, but 5 sold is good. Yeah, it's good for you. Oh, Haas, Cartwright. 30 offers and no sales. I know, it's crazy. I do eBay and Mercari. Should I go to Etsy or Poshmark Depop next? Retro Desert, I don't know what you sell, but if you sell clothing at all, Poshmark's a no-brainer. I don't sell on Etsy. I'm not really sure if maybe there's somebody in the chat who sells on Etsy. I'm just not sure that used men's clothing is like got to work really well on Etsy, and that's kind of most of what I sell. But Poshmark is my second biggest platform. It usually is every single month for years and years and years. Poshmark is really good. I've sold 83 units on Poshmark in May. Poshmark is really good for me. It's actually a really good month. I'm just looking at that now. That's a really good month for me. 83 with 13 days left. Talk about hiking pants. Watching the news last night, Mass and New Hampshire are having worst tick outbreak in years. Tech pants at a premium right now. That's interesting. That was always a thing. So some of you know that I grew up. I lived in New Hampshire for 31 years, and obviously I did a lot of hiking and stuff back then too. But growing up, like there was like some years where ticks were like really really bad, and I feel like it was after years. I think it tended to be like after years where it wasn't really cold. Like you didn't get like a deep freeze over the winter. So I wonder if that's what this winter was up there. But yeah, those bad tick years, everyone would be all nervous about it, especially when you're a kid. Your parents would want you to wear pants in the middle of the summer, and you're like, I don't want to wear pants in the middle of the summer. That's ridiculous. But and I'd be like mountain biking out in the woods and stuff, and you'd come home and you would have ticks on your clothes, ticks on you and stuff. I don't miss that kind of stuff. But Chris, I've noticed lately that the newer resellers coming in looking for goods to flip around in different levels, like the zombies in the movie Warm Bodies. You have the wise, greedy Kevin's Vintage Bros. Flag City, you're making me laugh today too, and teaching me today too. I appreciate both of those things. The shipping benefits to the buyer on Whatnot is better than some other platforms. I like it. Yeah, the oldest profession. Yeah. They don't publish their earnings though, so it's hard for me to compete with them. I just checked. I have items listed on Whatnot, but none of them come up when I search for them. Somebody else shared that with me too, and I haven't had a chance to sort of explore why that might be, but you're not the first person to share that. So I wish I had a solution for you. I just don't know, but I have heard that others, at least one other person has told me that. I had a buyer lowball me on a pair of jeans, and I couldn't not come down on his price, and he told me that I didn't understand how negotiating works. He didn't understand. Yeah, you didn't understand how the negotiation that he wanted, I guess. Yeah. They don't. It's not. It's most people have no clue what it takes to resell. I love telling them about solds and what I've paid. They can't believe it. I believe it. Most of your friends are not gonna like. Newsflash: your friends are probably not going to understand what you do. Your family's probably not going to understand what you do. But you can come into these lives, and there's going to be a group of people who get it, who respect what you do and know what kind of work it takes, but also what kind of income is possible with this kind of stuff. So you're in the right place. We got friends. You're in the nest here, but don't expect your friends, your family, even if you've done it for a billion years. I've been flipping consistently online. For 7 years, and it's been full time for 5.5 years. It's actually almost 8 years now, but full time 5.5 years. And people know that I'm doing okay, and they still just don't really get it. Just you can't expect most people to get it. It's a weird thing, kind of. And most people don't understand owning a business. Period. Right. So to allow them to expect them to understand our specific business would be unrealistic. Great to know. I thought about signing up for Nifty for that reason. Yeah, it could be powerful for you, Crispy. Obviously your business is a lot different than mine in terms of what you're selling. But one thing, you can also import stuff, right? If you're doing, I don't know if you're doing live auctions on Whatnot or not, Crispy, but you can use that as a way to like funnel stuff like straight into like your live auctions and everything too, with photos and all that stuff. One thing I think that's powerful with using Nifty for Whatnot is I don't think there's like Whatnot is never really, it's been much more about live selling. Like it's 99% live selling and like 1% marketplace. So I think people are probably used to looking at maybe some subpar marketplace listings, right? On eBay and Poshmark, a lot of us do really professional listings with measurements, with like measurements in the photos with really deep descriptions of these items, lots of photos in there, good close-up photos, background remover tools, professional lighting, all this stuff. I don't think marketplace on Whatnot has seen a lot of that historically over the last few years. So I think with us taking some of our items that are listed on Poshmark and eBay and all these places where we have really professional listings and we go over there to Whatnot, I think it's going to make the marketplace like more serious over there on Whatnot, and you're going to see people buy more on it because they're going to see better quality listings, not just yours, but there's going to be hundreds of us that go over there using Nifty to cross list to Whatnot, and we're each going to bring hundreds, in some case thousands of listings over there. The marketplace is going to look better. The photos are going to be more professional. The listings are going to be more professional. People are going to have more professional buying experiences through the marketplace. And I think the marketplace will do better. I feel like maybe Whatnot should be paying us to talk more about this, this idea of bringing professional listings, because you've got to have professional listings to survive on eBay and Poshmark these days. Those are competitive marketplaces. I think Whatnot should be really, really excited that we're bringing over these professional listings as professional sellers, marketplace sellers, into the Whatnot marketplace. I think there's a lot of potential. And I think there's a lot of potential for the buyers that are on that platform. And also there's a lot of potential for Whatnot, in terms of getting sales and taking their fees. Exactly, Tom. Has to be vintage for Etsy. Gotcha. Etsy items have to be vintage, so most clothes can't be sold on Etsy. Good to know. I didn't know this stuff. Hey, Chris, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Ashley Rivera. That's awesome. I've never worked on my birthday, but I went to the Goodwill and shipped off my packages as well. It's not work to me when it's fun reselling. Good for you. Well, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day. Glad you, hopefully you get some good stuff at Goodwill and a good pile of sales going out the door. That's awesome. Happy birthday. Just catching you. I'm headed to Asheville this week, visiting my uncle, and excited. Closer. Are you gonna ask to see my my eBay payout or my bank account? Sorry if you're just jumping in. There was a longer conversation about somebody else. But hope you have a great trip up to Asheville this week. Got to have some warm weather up here in the mountains this week, but should be sunny and nice. So hope you have a great trip and spend some quality time with your uncle. That's awesome. I have good luck selling vintage clothing on eBay. Nice, Mark. Timo. Watching you from WNC, I really appreciate all that you're doing, and I've learned so much. How many listings do you do per day? I don't do daily listings, but I do list most weeks like 70 to 80 items on listing. But thanks for the positive vibes, neighbor friend from WNC. I love it. Jennifer. When you thrifted in Denver and had to mail your listings back home, how did you ship it? Out of curiosity, any idea how much it weighed and cost? Where can you find a box? I'm flying this week. Posey. I buy my boxes. You can buy them at Home Depot or Lowe's. They're both about the same. I buy the heavy duty boxes. Typically I'll get either the medium size or the large size, depending on how much stuff I ship. I've shipped tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of clothes this way, from traveling to thrift. Denver was just one example of that. I've done that from Denver actually a few different times when I visited out there. I've done it from Florida a ton, but I get the heavy duty moving boxes from either Lowe's or Home Depot. And then I ship them home. I use UPS typically, and I drop them off at the UPS store. I print my labels through Pirate Ship. Hope that helps. As far as like costs and all that, from Denver, I was probably paying, let me look. I mean, you can use Pirate Ship's, like cost estimator thingy. If you want to, you don't even have to have an account to use it, but I'll see if I can find my actual shipping labels from that. Let me just get into my Pirate Ship here. I got a coffee order. Thank you. Who's that? Thank you, Veronica. I see your coffee order. I'm gonna stop what I'm doing just after this thought, because otherwise I'll forget, and then we'll get your order shipped out. That's the rules. So I stop what I'm doing if you order during the live, and I'll get your order shipped right out. So thank you, Veronica. We'll do that in just 1 second. I do want to find this. How do I find it? I would have shipped it to my address. So maybe if I just put in that. Bear with me. So I was in, it would be maybe this one. Okay. Yep, this is it. So I shipped a box. It was 26 by 16 by 15. It was 39 pounds and 15 ounces, so 40 pounds. And it cost me $40.39 to ship it UPS from Denver, Colorado to Asheville, North Carolina. Typically that same size box, if I'm shipping it from Florida, would be about, if it's 40 pounds, it'd be like $28 from Florida to Asheville. So, generally thinking like $1 a pound if I'm in Denver. If I'm in Florida, I'm thinking like 75 cents a pound is about what I'm averaging or I'm estimating for shipping price. Hopefully that helps. Obviously, distance matters. Happy birthday, Ashley. That's right. Do you have a weekly schedule? I don't. No, I don't. It changes all the time because some weeks I travel and I'm gone for a couple of days sourcing, including this week. I'm going to do that. So I don't have like a regular schedule. I also spend a lot of time, probably more than you think, creating content and editing content and filming content and stuff like that. So my schedule would be probably different than yours anyway, because I spend almost at this point like equal amounts of time reselling and content creation. Are almost equal. Maybe most weeks it's like 2/3 reselling, 1/3 content, but some weeks it's about 50-50. So my schedule will be a little bit different, but it's somebody asked this earlier. It's very different from week to week. I don't really follow a schedule. Mondays I pretty much have a schedule, but aside from that, it can be very different from week to week. So I'm not, yeah. This business is held together by duct tape, bubble gum, toothpicks, all sorts of. It's a little more loosey goosey than maybe probably people think. I work hard, but it is a small operation, and I just kind of, most weeks I just sort of barely pull it off, and always have too much to do and not enough time to get it done. I always have bigger dreams for the week than what I actually execute. I did go to the Whatnot Reseller Summit in Austin, and the higher ups wants to be more of a search and find items marketplace. Of course. Yeah, that makes a lot. Thanks for sharing that income. Of course. I mean, there's a ton of opportunity for them to, to have people who are uncomfortable and uninterested in selling live to sell on marketplace. I mean, yeah, they could double their business by putting a lot of emphasis into that. So it makes a lot of sense that they would want to do that. Why wouldn't they? But thank you for sharing that insight. It is good to know that they're talking about it anyway. Do you take advantage of any credit card promos like % back on shipping labels? I'm not really much of like a earn points for flights on, and I chase like the deals on credit cards. I've had the same personal credit card for like 15 years, and I've had my same business credit card for, I don't know how long I've had that particular one. Probably when I opened up my EIN number, I've probably had that card for 5 years or something like that. I don't chase the deals. I get 1% back on my business card. My personal card, I use Discover. I get 1% back on everything, and there's certain categories where I get 5% per quarter or something like that. But I don't chase all that stuff. I don't like having like points to use with a certain airline or whatever, and there's blackout dates, and certain times you got to use it. I just get like the 1% cash back from my cards, and I don't chase around. Is there opportunity? Some people like that kind of stuff. I just don't. I just like consistency. I don't like monkeying around with things like that. So I just use the same cards. Hope that helps. But I think there's some opportunity there for the right person who enjoys doing that sort of stuff. I just don't. I feel like seeing your bank account is going to be a running joke from now. I hope so. And no, if I'm not going to show y'all that's just not my thing. I'm not going to do it. But just restacked on some coffee. Got the dark roast last time, and we loved it. Not an ounce of bitterness. Thank you so much. That's what I think a lot of people don't like dark roast because they've had dark roast where they're just bitter, one note. I appreciate you sharing that. I love the dark roast. It's just got a nice creaminess to it, really nice balance. So it's more on the medium side. So you can break down. So thank you. But you could break down coffee, right? Some people put it into 3 categories: light roast, medium roast, dark roast. But you can also break it down into like light, medium dark, dark, extra dark, and then like I think there's like French or something on top of that. Anyway, you can break it down into like 7 different categories if you want to. If you did that, like our dark roast would be more on like the medium dark, like kind of in between a standard medium and a dark roast. Blend of 3 beans from Honduras, and we picked that one from a tasting. Kim's blending stuff. What you blended?
Getting dinner ready.
I guess that's okay.
Huh?
I guess that's okay.
I'm done now. I just gotta get it in the oven.
Oh, are you cooking that steak thing?
Chuck roast, yes.
Chuck roast.
Chipotle peppers.
Just doing a chuck roast with chipotle peppers, so I'm okay with it's an excellent dish. The last time she made it a few weeks ago was delicious, so she can do all the blending she wants. It's like, Mom, I'm on live. Come on, I'm with my friends. Stop making noise. Closer to homemade. I appreciate your coffee order. It means a lot to me. Thanks for the positive words. Is that you? Is that Veronica? Is that the same? Are we talking about the same person? Y'all got screen names. Y'all got real names. God-given names. Either way, we're going to get this coffee order out the door for you. So you order on live, we stop what we're doing, we get it shipped out. So we got one bag of our medium roast. We got whole bean going out the door for you. We also have our dark roast, Black Mountain dark roast. Both of these whole bean. Is that right? Is that right? Going to Veronica down in Florida. Let's see what we got. Yep, I'm Veronica. Cool. Y'all got your screen names, your God-given names, keeping me on my toes. Appreciate your order. Get this shipped right out to you. Faster than Bezos. Bezos is probably on his yacht right now. He is not doing any shipping. Maybe someday we'll do a live from a yacht. But then how would I ship out coffee? Have to think about this a little bit. Put together this game plan. Remember, all our coffee is available in whole bean or ground too. So if you like grounding your own beans like Veronica and like I do, you can do that. Or we have it already ground for you if you're into that sort of thing too. Veronica, we are going to get you a handwritten thank you note. This is going to go out the door today for you. Thanks for coming back for your second order. That means a lot to me. We got you hooked. And that makes me so happy. Thanks for supporting our small business. And I'm glad that you enjoyed your first round of coffee. Here's your second one. So this is your first time getting the medium roast. That's the one that Kim and I drink the most. It's my absolute, both of our favorite coffee in the whole world. All right. Got to put your fancy little sticker on the box. Yes to the whole bean. I got you. Hoping I have time to pass by Black Mountain this weekend. We love getting up to Black Mountain. Really cool town. Beautiful mountain views. There's a lot to do in Black Mountain now too. It's really come up. There's a lot of places to eat now that are really good. And it's just good vibes. Some towns just have vibes. Black Mountain's got good vibes. All right, you're going to have a shipping confirmation with a tracking number in your inbox in just about 2 shakes of a lamb's tail here, Veronica. Hey, Kim, how are you? What's good? What's new? How are you doing? Whole, got you. Yes, whole bean, I got you. We're on the same page, Veronica. Thank you so much. Not bad at all for shipping costs, Denver to Asheville. Not bad at all, I agree. But definitely get those heavy-duty moving boxes. You don't want to get the regular boxes like the light-duty. They don't say light-duty, they're just the regular one. Get that ones that say heavy-duty because you're shipping clothing. So, clothing is soft. So in those boxes, especially when they're heavy, they get tossed around. You don't want the sides to blow out on those boxes because they will. I also put the clothing in trash bags or big bags on the inside so that if the box does blow out for whatever reason, that stuff doesn't fall out of the box. So that's a little pro tip that I use is stuff goes in the box with inside of a bag too. Grounded advantage. Okay. Veronica, you got a shipping confirmation in your inbox. Tracking numbers there. This should get to you nice and quick. It's Monday. Probably have this on Thursday. Could come on Wednesday. You never know. But my guess is you'll have this on Thursday. Wait till brands enter the game. Brands like Nike are trying to partner with Goodwill to buy their items back so they can resell them. People will miss independent resellers. Maybe so. The game is always changing. And we all got to always be changing our game to match it. Thank you so much, Veronica. Appreciate y'all so much. If y'all want to get in on the coffee game, if you drink coffee every morning, you might as well drink the really good stuff. So I'm going to drop the link right there in the chat to my coffee, or if you're watching on Instagram, you can find that link by just clicking on my profile. You'll find our coffee website right there. You can read about our 3 different roasts and all that stuff. And if you have questions about coffee, let me know. If you need a recommendation on coffee, you can just let me know what you currently drink right now. Let me know the brand, let me know the roast, and I can tell you what I would recommend that you should try from us. But it's all fair trade. It's all organic. It's all roasted fresh every week. I was just up at the roastery on Friday and got a chance to chat with Patrick, who's the co-owner and CEO. They're just great people. They love coffee. They know what they're doing. They care about their customers, and they're just so great to partner with. So if you haven't tried our coffee, I think you'd enjoy it. I'd love to ship you a bag. And if you order during the live, I'll ship, just like Veronica did, I'll ship it out here during the live with a big dose of gratitude and all that stuff. You have a question? Cool. How do I get my eBay listing to the top? You can promote, like you can pay eBay to promote your items, and they'll give preferred real estate, top of the list real estate to the people who paid to promote. You can also make sure you have really good keywords in your listing. You can also make sure that you have like an automation tool like Nifty that delists and relists old listings so you show up higher in search results and all that. There's a lot of different ways to do it. There's no perfect, easy way, but promoting would be my first step. What was the answer to the question? What's the most expensive piece in the back of your trunk from late last week? I don't know. I was only going to reveal the answer if somebody guessed it, and nobody guessed the right brand. So the game goes on. I'm sorry, Adam. You have to guess it. Nobody guessed the brand. I'm actually kind of shocked. It's not like an obscure brand or anything. Thanks for what you do. Well, thank you for being positive and all that stuff. You got a stroke? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to hear that, Kim. Are you doing okay? I'm homeless when I get out of rehab. Oh my gosh, Kim, send all my best to you and the fam. Keep your head up. You've gotten through a lot of stuff over the years, and you've always come out on the right side. So I know you will this time too. So send them all my very best. What brands of bubblegum, duct tape, and toothpicks to use? I cannot reveal that. That's the secret sauce to this whole thing, is just having the right brands of bubblegum and duct tape holding everything together. Yes, I scored some Tommy Bahama, some NFL hats, and LL Bean. I like it. You're talking my language. I like it. You dog. Hey, the assignment was simple. Guess the brand that was worth the most money. That was your assignment, not my assignment. I did my part. I posted the picture, and y'all didn't guess it. Y'all didn't guess it. All right, where were we at? We were shipping orders, right? I think. That's right. That's what we were doing. We got an order going out. I was fixing some orders too. I kind of screwed some up. I know I mixed up a couple orders, so I got to make sure I get this right. This is the not fun part. I fixed that one. I think this one's right. I'll put that aside just in case. Nate. I feel like one of the shipping labels didn't print out or got misplaced, because I don't see a label for Mark. How is that even possible? There is one for Mark. That's a different Mark. Oh, this is confusing, y'all. That's a different Mark. There's not even a Mark label. How did it not print? Or where did it go? Y'all. All right, I'm going to print out this label. I'm confused. Anyway, print out a new label for Mark. So Mark got this RLX polo. I don't really pick up RLX golf polos anymore unless it has a really good country club logo or something on it. So here we go. I don't know if you can see that logo right there, RLX. This is Ralph Lauren's golf line. Resale value has just really gone down. My guess is that the supply of these has just gone really up. The reason I picked this one up, it was a long sleeve golf polo, so like moisture wicking polyester style polo. And typically with golf polos, when I find long sleeve versions of them, they tend to have higher sell-through rates than short sleeve versions, mainly because there's just not as much supply of them. So when somebody wants one, there's just not as many options. So I thought that would work on this RLX sort of solid navy blue polo, but it didn't. It took a long time to sell. Oh my gosh. It took 487 days to sell. So I picked this up last January, and thinking like, maybe I can get good money for this. It sold on a best offer for $14 over the weekend. I paid $5 for it. And it took over a year to sell. So sometimes, you know me, I like to find those like little details that help items sell better than others. And I thought I had it with that long sleeve RLX. I was wrong, but I still sold it for $14 plus $6.95 shipping. And I'll make, I don't know, a couple of $4-5 profit on this thing, maybe $5-6. It is what it is, but I'm always looking for those like little details that might give me the edge. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and that's okay. I didn't lose money on this thing, and I learned that I'm not going to do this again. Learned. Now I'm in for the guest challenge. It's a photo post, I think from Friday or Saturday, where I asked people to guess what the most expensive item I had in my trunk was, like what brand it was, and nobody guessed it. There was a lot of guesses too. Kim, send out my positive vibes. I know you can win this time. You've won through more difficult things in the past. You got the strength within you, and I believe in you. You know that. Thanks to you, Chris, I have been spending more time in the suits and blazers section. I hope that's a good thing. It's a money section, and if you can learn it, there's a lot of profit to be had there. Next up is an order for Nate. Nate got another one of these bad birdies. So we sold the same shirt twice, same size, same color, bad birdie, brand new with tags. Retails right around $80. This sold for $24.99 on a best offer. I have a whole bunch of these, so good to see them selling over the weekend. Sold some last weekend too, sold some during the week. So I think we got the price dialed right now to get them moving, because I got a bunch. I would price differently if I only had like one or two of these, but like I have probably somewhere around 30 or 40 of these left. So you kind of have to have a different pricing strategy when you have quantity, because I want these to sell during the season. I don't want to be stuck with these in like October when stuff like that really slows down. So next up is an order. Here's that shipping label for Kieran. My shipping labels got all out of order. That's what happens. I don't know how. I'm usually really careful about this, and I do this every darn Monday. I mean, I ship every day, but I go live every Monday. So I already shipped that one out. Hopefully we're not way messed up here. Next up is an order for a good sale right here. Order for Janelle. Really fun piece right here. One of my favorite sales of the weekend. Not crazy profit because I paid up for this item. This is a Patagonia Los Gatos hooded fleece. Now, this model, Los Gatos, is not the best-selling model from Patagonia. It is really cool. It's like that high pile, like fuzzy fleece. Sell-through rate's really low on the Los Gatos. The reason I picked this one up and paid up for it, I paid $15 for it, is because of this pattern. With Patagonia, people really love this like southwestern kind of vibe. Bright colors, bold patterns can sell really well in Patagonia. So I grabbed it for $15. If it was like blue, solid blue, I would not have picked this up, because they typically sell between $20 and $30 with a low sell-through rate. So I'm not going to pay $15 for an item like that at a thrift store. But because of the pattern, I felt like I could get a little more. I listed it for $49. I accepted an offer this morning for $40 on this. So paid $15, sold for $40 after fees. I'm probably going to be left with like 32. Probably made like $17 off of this, which ain't bad. I basically doubled my money and then some on it. I don't mind paying up for stuff if I can double my money on it. And but definitely, I did not pick up. I would not pay $15 for this. This is just a solid blue or a solid pink or something like that. This is a women's one too, by the way. I think the men's Los Gatos sell a little bit better, but it's just not a super high demand item, and there seems to be a lot of supply out there. But it's all about the pattern on this one. I'm blowing up that post now. Now, I'm not going to tolerate spam, Adam. I don't make the rules, but I enforce them with an iron fist. Maybe I make the rules too. I had printer issues one day and was so frazzled I swapped labels, an $11 shirt and a $40 pair of jeans. Shirt guy kept the jeans, unfortunately. I printed package individually now. That's interesting. He's like, I kind of like these jeans.
That's super funny. Or maybe he didn't realize it, or that's really strange. But yeah, mistakes are going to happen. I've done that too. Obviously, I think I like messed up labels last week on live and had to fix it too. The joys of live TV, you know. So this is going to Janelle. Thank you, Janelle. Out the door. Let's see how long that one took to sell to. I'm curious. Patagonia took 48 days to sell. Paid 15, sold for 40, plus the buyer paid $9.95 shipping. Probably made. Okay. Do you offer international shipping on your eBay? I do. My prayers to you, Kim. Come out of low places. What a nice message right there. Thank you. Thank you, Marie. Send some positive vibes to other people. Too late. You win regardless. We all win. Next up's an order for Jim. Not a great buy here either. This is another example of me like, I know that Nike shorts don't sell for a lot of money. I'm not new to the game, but my pattern like this, I can get good money for a pattern like this. I can get somebody to pay up for it. It didn't really work. They sold on a best offer of $15.99. So Nike Tour Performance Dry Fit golf shorts. But sometimes like cool plaid patterns like this can sell well, especially for golf. I've sold pants in that pattern pretty well before. I'm like, I'll give it a try on shorts. I paid $5 for them. They sold for $15.99. I didn't lose money, but this isn't really a good profit model. But you know me, I'm always looking for these little details that can help me find stuff that other people pass right by. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it doesn't work really well. Sometimes you just make a few bucks. But the most important thing is learning. What's good about this too is if you are a bins reseller, this would be a great item to pick up, because if you're paying by the pound, this pair of shorts right here weighs in at 9 ounces. So you're basically paying half a pound. We pay, I think, with our bins, I think it's $1.89 per pound. So in that case, this would be just under $1. It'd be like what, 95 cents, or maybe it's $1. We'll call it $1. This would be a great pickup for $1 and sell the item for $15.99, right? So it's important to kind of learn these like fringy items too, because sometimes you get deals at garage sales, right? Where someone's like, I got 6 pairs of this shorts. You want to take them for $1 a piece? And be like, yeah, I would do that for sure. So context matters, of course, too. I like trying things and seeing what works, because sometimes things work better with my listing and selling process than it does with other people too, because I'm cross-listing on multiple platforms. I'm using automation tools to take really great photos. All those things. Sometimes I can sell things that other people can't because of those that extra hustle I put in. How's Whatnot Marketplace going for you? Yeah, we talked about this a little while ago, Veronica, but I know people come and go here. So I've sold 8 total items, and I have less than half of my inventory currently cross-listed over to Whatnot. So I already got 8 sales. To put that into context, I have 8 total sales for the month of May on Whatnot, and I have all my items cross-listed on Whatnot. So Whatnot's technically already outperforming Mercari for me, with less than half of my items cross-listed over there. So I think there's potential. My guess is that I'll probably be able to sell maybe 20 or 25 units per month on Whatnot. That's just a total rough guess off of a couple of weeks worth of experience, but that's what I'm seeing so far. Thanks for sharing the positive vibes with each other. I appreciate that so much. Community is built on caring for each other, teaching each other, just being nice to each other, rooting each other on. So appreciate all those things. Let's move over. Let's do one quick Mercari sale. Got an order for Kim on Mercari. I didn't make a thank you card for Kim. What sold? Columbia. So Columbia, this is a women's size 2X. This is like just a classic fishing shirt, solid color, vented, moisture wicking polyester job right here. This sold on Mercari for a price. $17.09. This was actually a nifty best offer on Mercari. So I think this was listed at $18.99. And this person, Kim, came and liked this item on Whatnot. And then 10 minutes later, Whatnot sent a 10% off offer to Kim. Got the sale at $17.09. I paid $5 for this item. After Mercari's fees, they're going to pay me out $14.64. And I paid $5. So I'm going to make $9.64 off this item right here after all shipping and fees and all that. Not getting rich off an item like this, but it fills up my cart. It doesn't take me any extra time when I'm at the thrift store to just toss this into my cart. Sure, it takes me a little bit of time to list it, but it doesn't take long to ship and all that stuff. And these little items do add up over the course of the year. Like I said, I will sell over 2,000 items that will sell for less than $20 profit this year. I'll probably sell another 1,000 or 1,500 items that sell for over $20 profit. And those ones under $20 profit will probably average about $15 a piece, right? So you can do the math. Sell 2,000 items for $15 profit a piece. That's a certain number. Now sell another 1,000 or more that are selling at a profit of like $30 a piece, and you've got yourself a little bit of a business there. It all stacks up. About 50% of my profit every month comes from items that sell for less than $20 profit per item. About 50% of my profit each month. About 50% of my profit comes from items that sell for big dollars. So I like them equally, because literally at the end of the month, those items profit me equally. Sure, I sell more of the lower items to make that 50%, but you get the idea, right? They're important to me too. Jennifer, what's up? Things are well. I hope things are well with you. I appreciate seeing you in here. I haven't seen your little photo in here in a little bit, and I always appreciate having you. You know that. All my best to you and your fam. Have you ever done a live on Whatnot? I have not, and after reaching out to Nifty and Whatnot, I've been told my listings won't get visibility when searched on Whatnot. I have gone live on Whatnot, but it's been a little over 2 years since the last time I did a Whatnot live. I have not. I've been reaching out to Nifty and Whatnot. I've been told my listings won't get visibility when searched on Whatnot. That's interesting. I'd be curious to know. Sometimes you talk to a rep and you get a certain story, and sometimes you talk to another rep and you get a certain story. So I'd be curious what the official word is on that from Whatnot. I wonder if I could get that information. So that's one thing. But I'm also curious if that'll be what will happen long term, like if we'll see a shift there, because I've had a couple of people now tell me that they went to that Whatnot Open, like the eBay Open, but the Whatnot version, and that their senior leadership said that they were going to put emphasis into marketplace. So to me, if they're going to put emphasis into growing their marketplace, then they're going to have to put emphasis into allowing people who don't sell live at all on there to also sell stuff. I mean, that would be good for business. It wouldn't make sense to continue to suppress people's listings just because they haven't gone live if they want to actually grow that marketplace. So we'll see. I think we always have to remember that these things are always going to change. And everything's sort of dynamic in the reselling world. There was a point in time where Facebook Marketplace was my number one or my number two best-selling platform in some months, really close to eBay. And then, several months later, it became like my number 5 best-selling platform, and it just tanked. So if anything is going to be true, or if anything is going to stay the same, it's that everything is going to be changing all the time, and it's going to be dynamic. I think there's a lot of opportunity for Whatnot. My guess is that they're going to pull some levers, change some things on their end to make marketplace make more money, because it would just make sense. It would make too much. It wouldn't make sense for them not to, right? Hey, Chris, were those poncho shirts in the back of your car? That would be my guess. They weren't in the back of my car, but those are absolutely a good seller for sure. I found a pair of Polo Ralph Lauren performance pants that are very much like Lululemon. I didn't even realize they made those. Comps aren't that great, though, surprisingly. That's one of those items that you're going to see probably a range of comps where you're going to see some really good sale prices and you're going to see some really low sale prices. But yes, those pants can be decent sellers. I think with good listing, good photos, cross-listing, automation, all that stuff. I think you should be able to get a good sale there. Things are going well for now. It's been raining since yesterday in Crawford, and the wind is crazy. Send some of that rain, not the wind. We don't want the wind out here, but send some of that rain out this way. We're in like full-on drought mode in the southeast here, so we'll take a little bit of rain, but not a whole bunch of rain all at once. We'll just take like an inch and a half or two here and there. That would be really great. Thank you. Even has the imprint of the pony on the back of the front, like Lululemon, where they have their logo. Gotcha. Yeah, they've made those pants for years and years and years. My guess is they've made those pants a lot longer than Lululemon has. Would be my guess. Those Polo Ralph Lauren performance pants. I've been seeing them around for years. They're not super common, but they've been around. Thanks for Gage. Thanks for being here. I've gotten the same info about visibility from Whatnot customer service. Interesting. Okay, cool. Good to know. Yep, after speaking through emails to both parties, they both told me the same thing. I think you have to have at least one live under the belt with successful order fulfillment. Interesting. That's really good to know. Really good to know. I do wonder if that's going to change, right? Because if leadership is serious about wanting to grow their marketplace, it wouldn't make sense to shut people out who haven't gone on live, right? Because there's going to be far more people who are willing to list on the marketplace than are willing to go on live. So to me, it makes good sense for them. Not in a way, it kind of makes sense for them to want to suppress search results on somebody who hasn't had a proven track record on their platform. On the surface, that kind of makes sense to me, right? But I think that's a solution for another time for them. That's probably a relic of a decision that they made a few years ago when they were only focused on live selling. But as they mature, they're really going to need marketplace too. So my guess is that their stance will change and probably evolve on that topic, because every marketplace platform, you have to have people at first, like, when you're new to eBay, you don't have any track record of results on eBay, and you got to prove yourself. And the only way to prove yourself is by getting sales. So to suppress your search results would never allow you to prove yourself. So I have a feeling there'll probably be some change there. I'm glad that y'all are messaging with Nifty and more importantly, messaging with Whatnot about this, because if they're going to hear from a lot of people who want to sell in the marketplace and don't want their listings suppressed, you got to think that at some point that's going to have some influence. But obviously leadership is not the one answering those emails. It's somebody who's paid to be a customer support person. But something tells me that they'll probably change on that. It just makes too much sense for them to change on that. Well, thank you for sharing all that with me, and thanks for reaching out to Whatnot. But my guess is that will change for the positive for everybody. I think I found a decent Whatnot seller last night, sudden death auctions, which I prefer, even though I got sniped to hell. Do you have a preference? No, not really. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's all about, you can find good deals on sudden death, or you can find good deals. I like them both. It's like you can't have a favorite kid, right? You like them all. Love your videos. They really help on broadening my inventory when sourcing thrift stores. Upcharge in my area. The thing about thrift stores that upcharge, though, don't just sign off those stores and say like, wow, whatever, they upcharge. Stores that upcharge, I can tend to find better high end stuff there, because typically what they'll do is they'll list like, a bad brand like George for like $5 or $6, right? But they'll see a Patagonia and they'll say, well, Patagonia is going to sell for $12. Well, somebody who's just like looking for a shirt and they're looking at the George shirt and they're looking at the Patagonia shirt, if they were both $6, they're going to pick the Patagonia, because people are people, right? They're not dumb. I'll take the Patagonia. That's quality. Sure. But if the George is $6 and the Patagonia is $12, and that person's like, I just need a shirt, they're probably not going to choose the Patagonia at $12 instead of the George at $6. The challenge with the flat rate pricing in my area is that everything is $5 for shirts. So people are always going to choose the name brand as they're going through the rack, because why not? They're the same price. Why wouldn't you buy the better item, or the perceived quality of the better item? You'll pick the brand name. But that's the beauty of stores that upcharge for some stuff, is sometimes you can find that Patagonia for $12 and it's worth $30. And I'd rather find a Patagonia for $12 and sell it for $30 than to find no Patagonia at all because they had it priced at $6 and somebody bought it an hour ago, right? So you got to, some of my best like hot heavy hitter finds the big heavy name brands, stuff that sell for 40, 50, 60, 80, $100, they often are in stores that upcharge for stuff. Sometimes that means I got to pay $12 or $15 for those items, but I'd rather pay 12 or 15 for those items than not find them at all because somebody bought them at $5 because they were right next to the George. So I know you didn't really specifically ask about that, but that was a rant that I wanted to get out today. So you helped me get that rant out. So thank you. I won't do a live, not comfortable with it, and don't even have a space to host it. Gotcha. No judgment from me. New bolo I found was the brand Burlabo. Found a performance polo shirt, new with tags. The brand has over 100% sell-through rate. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. I can hear people taking out their pens to write down the little bolos. Thank you, D. Mendoza. Bought a new tag Ariat M5 FR pants, but missed that on the inside someone marked X's inside. Fully inspected and see no issue. Do I list it as new or with this defected to the ink? If it's just on a tag, to me, that's not like a defect at all. I would just list it and take photos of it. That's what I would do. Sounds like a good find to me. At the rate questions and comments are coming on the stream, it will end with the dinner bell rings. It's a great stream so far. I've learned a couple of things from Chris and the chat. Appreciate that. I hope we get this done before dinner because I'm going to need lunch here soon, and then I'm going to need dinner. I need my 3 square meals, y'all. Next up is an order on Poshmark. That's also like a good, I think that was Scrap and Cougar saying like, hey, dude, why don't you ship the next item instead of just flopping your gums? I hear you. Let's do that. Okay, let's switch over to Poshmark. This is an interesting buy. I can't remember the last time I bought and sold the brand Hollister. It's just not part of my regular catalog here. But these are low-rise, super baggy women's jeans. And that's like what the tag on the inside says. Like that's the model. It says low-rise, super baggy. And they really are. I mean, they're super like wide leg baggy. Obviously, we all know that that's in style. So I always give a second look to brands. Even if I don't usually sell Hollister, when something is super in style, you can sell a brand like Hollister or Gap or, American Eagle sometimes too, when you can find it when it's super in style. So grab these for $5 and they sold for a best offer of $20 on Poshmark. Curious how long these took to sell. Couldn't have been too long. I feel like I recently grabbed these. 44 days. So a month and a half to sell these. 5 into 20. Not crazy, but I love being able to find stuff that I'm sure a bunch of resellers passed on Hollister because they just saw the tag and they're like, Hollister's not worth money. But if you pay attention to styles and all that stuff, you can get some wins. Am I getting rich off this one pair? No. I sold them for $20. I paid $5. Poshmark's going to keep 20%. So that means Poshmark is keeping $4 out of my 20. It leaves me with 16. I paid $5, so $11 profit on this item. But I built my business, and I no longer have to go to staff meetings and all that because I sell a crap ton of items that make me $11 profit, and I am totally fine with it. Where did that go? Hollister. Gotcha. This is going to Marcia. Marcia's in Columbia, Kentucky. Columbia is like one of those town names. It's like in so many different states. Do you live in a state that has a town named Columbia? I don't know if North Carolina does. South Carolina does. Columbia, Kentucky. Speaking of George, I remember flipped a pack of George underwear. That's fun. I don't think I've sold a lot of I've sold St. John's Bay before. But I don't think I've ever sold George. I've sold a lot of that low end stuff. If you know the right stuff to look for. But the George underwear, that's a good one. Area M5 FR. Ink is on the interior, blue fabric. I mean, is anyone going to be able to see it? But yeah, I don't typically list that as to me, that's not like a defect unless it's going to is somebody going to be able to see it when they're wearing it? I guess if someone gets in their pants, they're going to be able to see it. If you're at that level of things, I'm really not so sure you're going to be too worried about that at that point. You got other business to take care of. Columbia, Connecticut. Okay. I didn't know there was a Columbia, Connecticut. Next up is the Patagonia, another $20 sale right here. Maybe. Here it is. So this is an example where I talked about the value of Nifty. I have sold this model Patagonia shirt a dozen, maybe 2 dozen times. It's that super, super lightweight organic cotton fabric, like ultra lightweight. And this is a short sleeve shirt plaid. They make them check plaid. I don't know if I've sold a solid color one, but usually check or plaid. Sold it a bunch of times. I did not know it was called the backstep shirt, but Nifty did. So when I listed this item, Nifty recognized that this is the backstep and added it to the item title and added it to the description. Did it help me sell this shirt? I don't know. I'm not sure, but I've never called it backstep before. And this is just a mediocre seller. It's not like a really great model or anything like that. It sold for $20 on a best offer. But my point here is that even with all these years of experience and recognize, I know models, I can see models from 15 feet away in the store. I can tell you, oh, I know what brand that is and what model, but some things you just can't know at all. But so for Nifty to recognize the model of this one without me doing any research is really cool. This one sold in 18 days on Poshmark for a best offer of 20. I paid $5, so $11 profit, and I haven't even paid the credit card bill on this item yet. So nice quick flip. This is kind of just a staple to my business, is selling a whole lot of items that sell for between $10 and $20 profit. I sell high-end stuff too, big flip profits, but these little ones really add up. If I didn't sell stuff that sold for less than $20 profit, I would be cutting out 50% of my profit each month. I am not in a financial situation to be cutting out 50% of my profit every month. Literally, this stuff adds up to half of my profits every month. Items that sell for between $10 and $20 profit. I have to sell more of them to get the profit, but the good news is I find more. There's just more readily available. There's not that many $40 items out there that you're going to find at thrift stores. But man, there's a lot of $20 to $25 items. So if you can learn those, you'll never, ever go hungry. We were in a serious drought. Also, the wind could stop so we could actually get some moisture in the ground. Yeah, for sure. I know y'all need the rain too, because you didn't get the snow, unfortunately. You're going to have wildfire season out there like crazy, but I'm not telling you anything you don't already know. My wife came across a St. John blazer and long evening dress combo with rhinestones all around. I asked ChatGPT and they said to list high in the $500 price range. How would you photograph? I don't know how to answer that question. Cool find. How would I photograph? I don't know. Carefully? I'm not sure how to answer your question. I'd photograph it with my iPhone in square mode. That's what I would do. Hey, Chris, glad to hear you're doing it well. Do you ship internationally? If so, what are the pros and cons? I do. I offer shipping internationally through eBay, through eBay's international shipping program. It's as easy. You can just Google, how do I turn on international shipping? And you'll get step-by-step instructions on how to do it. The pros are you might get an extra sale or two every week from it selling internationally. The cons are I don't think there are any cons because eBay takes care of all the international shipping. All you got to do is get it to their international facility, which is in Glenwood Heights, Illinois. You just ship it to their facility and they take care of the rest there. So I'm not sure there are any cons, but the pros are you might get an extra sale or two every week. I don't know. I probably get I'd have to look. I don't track the statistic, but I'd probably get, I don't know, a couple of 3, maybe 4 sales a week through the international shipping program. I don't think we actually had any this weekend that shipped out through the international shipping program, which is uncommon. There's usually 1 or 2 every Monday that I ship out from the weekend, but not this weekend. Does Nifty recognize lot items via photos for title? Does Nifty recognize lot items via photo for title? I'm not sure I understand what you're asking. You might need to rephrase that. Sometimes I'm just a little slow on the uptake. Do you do all your bookkeeping and sales insight on Excel, or do you use a software like FlipFlies? Not sure if I asked this before. So Gage, I have 2 responses for you. If I didn't sell on Amazon, my own website, and generate income from social media and all this stuff, I would just use Nifty's analytics. Nifty has all the analytics that you would need to produce a Schedule C and to have all your numbers. Nifty does that. I don't use that because Nifty doesn't track my Amazon because Nifty doesn't work on Amazon. It doesn't track my personal website because Nifty doesn't track personal websites. And it doesn't track my social media stuff because Nifty has nothing to do with social media. So I need something that's more comprehensive. So I track everything on Jason Hayes's reseller spreadsheet. So you can, if you want to check it out, it's actually linked right in this document with all my recommended reseller tools and supplies, shipping supplies, all that stuff is in this document, including Jason Hayes's reseller spreadsheet. There's actually a code in there for 10% off if you decide to buy it. But he's got great videos on what the spreadsheets do and don't do. That you can. He's very transparent about what the product is that you're going to get. I've been using his spreadsheets. I think this is my 3rd or 4th year I've used his spreadsheet. It's great. It allows me to track all of my stuff, including social media, including my coffee business and all that stuff. So that's what I use. But if I didn't have those things, if I just sold on eBay, whatnot, Mercari, Poshmark, the Nifty stuff, I would just use Nifty's analytics because they're really, really good. In fact, I wish Nifty would work with all my other things, but it's obviously unrealistic that it's going to integrate with my personal website and stuff like that. But that's my thoughts there. Thanks. I plan on turning it on. I've had problems in the past shipping internationally during COVID, but sounds like eBay makes it easy. Yeah, the COVID time shipping was that was a mess domestically. It was a mess internationally. I don't think it would be fair to compare like COVID time shipping internationally to what's going on now. That was a complete and utter disaster back then. So it's not like that now. A lot of 2 vineyard vines, OTG example. Okay, so let me see what your first question is. Does Nifty recognize the lot items via photos for title? Yeah, I think so. I haven't listed one. Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I've had to add if I have to add the lot of 2 or not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have to go and put in quotes like lot of 2, because that's usually what I do at the beginning of my listing is I'll write lot of 2 in the title, so I might have to add that. I forget. I'm not sure. I ship internationally. You pay to ship to an international hub, and they do the rest. Return. Yep, absolutely, 100%. Scrap and Cougar. You're welcome, Gage. Appreciate you. Next order is a Duluth. I picked this up in my recent YouTube video. Where was I? I was in Greensboro. And I grabbed this off of a fresh rack. Duluth Trading. Tag's kind of flipped up, but that says Duluth Trading on it. And it's a women's size 2 extra large. And this is called, the model here is called the Soul Survivor Sun Shirt. And this sold on a best offer of $22. I think this is a really quick sale. I think I just listed this. This took 5 days to sell. So 5 days to sell. I know Duluth Trading, as a brand, is a mostly pass type of brand for me. But there's certain items from Duluth that sell well. I didn't know what this one was, but it had some unique stuff going on that I'm like, this is a nice outdoor shirt. Long sleeve. It's got this snap up neck thing going on. Anyway, my instincts told me with brands like Duluth and LL Bean and Cabela's, items that people will wear as gear, right? To go out and fish or hunt or hike or whatever, right? Outdoors gear, those types of things tend to sell a little bit better than a cotton button down shirt. And that's true with all those outdoor brands. Most of the cotton button down shirts from Duluth are not really a great buy to resell online. It's just a really crowded market, and those things tend to sell for cheaper. But this, to me, I recognize it as a piece that somebody would wear to hike, fish, hunt, whatever. Turns out that the model is called what I just said, the Soul Survivor Sun Shirt, women's size 2 extra large, sold in 5 days for $22. I paid $5. So that was featured in my Greensboro travel to thrift video on YouTube, which I think does a nice job of sort of showing you my decision-making process. I didn't know what this was called at the time. And I was like, it's Duluth. It's not that great. I don't recognize this model. It's definitely a women's though. And it had a little pocket or something on the side. I was like, I think that as an item that's more of a piece of gear, I think this one will sell pretty good. Probably something like $20 or $25. And sold for 22. So, I don't know all these items when I find them, but you just sort of you develop instincts for finding and selling similar items from the same brand or from similar brands. You kind of just start to learn patterns and themes, and that allows you to start to make to make decisions at the thrift store on the fly without looking up comps and stuff like that. I was just able to be like, yeah, I think this one's a go. Now, if I did that a lot in like my first year reselling, which I'm sure I probably did to some degree, I probably made a lot of mistakes, and that's okay too. But now I still make mistakes when I do those random pickups like that. We had some examples of those earlier in today's live, and sometimes they don't sell for a lot of money, and I have to give them up on a low offer and move on. Sometimes it's a really quick sale in 5 days, and this one sold for $22. I paid $5, so Poshmark's going to keep $4.40. That's going to leave me with $17.60. So I'm going to make $12.60 off after my $5 investment, all the shipping, all the fees, $12.60 into my pocket in 5 days. To me, that's a W. 5-day flip like that. Speaking of W's, this is probably the best sale of the weekend. This is a Bonobos, and you can see it says standard fit. This is a blazer, just a solid black blazer. The model is called Jet Setter. The Bonobos, blazers, and suits sell really, really well. I sold a shirt earlier today for $5. It's probably my lowest sale price of all. So when people get so caught up in brands, you miss the important stuff. Literally, my worst sale of the year, probably $5 on an old Bonobo shirt. Of course, it was stained, right? But $5. So you could say, well, I'm never going to pick up a Bonobos again because it took forever to sell and it sold for $5. This $76 sale, I paid $7 for it. And how long did it take to sell? 10 days to sell, right? $76. Poshmark is going to keep 20%, so they're going to keep $15. That's going to leave me with $61, and I paid $7. So 61 divided by or minus 7, $54 profit on this one item right here. So it's not, there's a lot of things from Bonobos that I won't touch. I don't really buy any of their shirts at this point. I buy very few of their pants, but I buy all the suits and all the blazers I find. And they always sell quick for me, and they always sell for great profit. So it's not, everyone asks me for like, hey, Chris, can you give me a list of brands? I'm like, I cannot give you a list of, I can, it just won't be super helpful. Because if I put Bonobos on that brand list and you go buy all the Bonobos you see, you're going to buy a lot of things that are going to sit in your store forever and sell for really low profits. So that's why I don't do a brands list. It just doesn't make sense. Just like that Duluth item. If I told you just to go buy Duluth and you went out and bought 100 pieces of Duluth, like 80 of those pieces are going to sit in your store for a really long time and sell for low profits. 20 of them will sell fairly quickly for a good profit like that one I showed you. So brands lists just aren't going to work. There's just no way, no how. Now, there's certain brands where just about everything is worth a pickup. You find a Filson, a CC Filson, it's probably going to be a pickup. You find an Arc'teryx, it's probably going to be a pickup. Pretty much everything from those brands, but there's far fewer of those pick up everything sort of brands out there than there are of brands where it's like, yeah, some of them is good, some of them is not good, It's just the reality of things. This is a Ralph Lauren shirt, by the way, that took a long time to sell. Speaking of, this took almost 2 years to sell. Men's size 17 by 34, and it's a Polo Ralph Lauren. Nice like micro check pattern. Now I will say this is just a rule of thumb. It's not a perfect science. So this one's tagged 17, 34, 35, right? Generally speaking, if I bought 100 that were tagged with like the number, so 17 is the neck size, 34, 35 is the sleeve size. If I bought 100 of that measurement, and I bought 100 that said XL or large or whatever, just the standard sizes, I'm going to sell the 100 that say XL or large or medium or whatever. I'm going to sell those a lot quicker than the ones with the number sizes. For Polo Ralph Lauren, that's not true for every brand, but for Polo Ralph Lauren, that is absolutely true. Doesn't mean you shouldn't pick these up with the numbers. You just got to be realistic, And since I sell volume, right, those sorts of things matter to me. But this one took almost a couple years to sell. It measures like a size 2 extra large. So in the item title, I put 17, 34, 35, just like it says on the tag. But I also put in parentheses 2XL. And then in the description of the item, I wrote measures like size 2XL. It still took almost 2 years to sell. I accepted a best offer of $17 on this one. So Polo Ralph Lauren will be my best-selling brand again in 2026, unless something really crazy happens. It's been my number one best-selling brand all 7 years I've been in business. This will be the 8th, I'm sure of it. But it doesn't mean that every single one is going to sell really fast. You know, it's just the nature of the business. What was I doing? This is going to Sussy is the name. Going to Sussy. And we're going to Fairfax, Virginia. I think sometimes people too, like if this was your experience and you bought this Ralph Lauren and it took a while to sell, sometimes people say, well, you know what? The last time I bought Polo Ralph Lauren, it took forever to sell, so I'm not going to buy Polo Ralph Lauren anymore. And to me, people say stuff like that all the time. And I think it's a big mistake. I think it's a really big mistake. You just got to know that some models sell better than others, some styles sell better than others, some sizes sell better than others, but sometimes you might have picked the perfect item and it still takes a real long time to sell. And sometimes you pick like a meh item and it sells really quickly. You know, the market is imperfect. You know, the market makes mistakes. Sometimes you get false positives or false negatives, you know. I'm still buying that shirt if I find it again, but it's just the nature of the beast. Next up is an order, a pair of Bird Dogs shorts. This actually got a really good sale price too. These sold for $29 on Poshmark, and they took 47 days to sell. So a month and a half to sell. A pair of Bird Dogs right there. These are a lined pair of shorts. Some of them are lined, some of them are unlined. It's good to like be clear about that in the description. Yeah, I wrote lined on this one. 9-inch inseam, men's size 2 extra large. Paid $5, sold for $29. Poshmark is going to keep 20% fees on this one, so on $29, they're going to keep about $6. So that's going to leave me with about $23, and I paid $5, so $18 profit on this pair of shorts. Obviously, a pair of shorts is in season right now in the middle of May. You don't need me to tell you that. I like picking up Bird Dogs pants, Bird Dogs shorts, always consistent sellers. I'm missing the grind. The grind is missing you, Kim, for sure. I'm trying to motivate myself to thrift more. I don't like thrifting. I only go out maybe 6 hours a week and find plenty. I live in a wealthy area, so going out more often would mean more high profit items. There you go. I like it. So you say you don't like thrifting. That's interesting. So there's so many different ways that you can make money in the world, Dijon. And this is just me asking, like, I don't have an answer in mind or any judgment or whatever, but just curious. There's a lot of different ways you can make money in this world. If you don't like thrifting, explain to me like the decision-making process of spending time thrifting to make money. And you can probably do other things, right? I'm honestly asking. I'm not judging. But usually people don't come into the live stream and say, like, I hate this, but I do this. So I'm just kind of curious. I picked up 2-piece Pronto Umo suit for $3 the other day, but haven't photographed it yet because I never know how to stage these things for photos. Gotcha. I mean, you can always take a look at how other resellers that are actually selling these items and just take a look at recent sales and see what their photos look like and maybe find a style that you feel like works for you. Do you always list items that are out of season? For example, listing a big Columbia parka in the middle of June. I do. Yeah, it just comes in the door. I have a decision to make when it comes in the door, right? I can decide to then bring it into my front door and then put it out in the garage into storage unlisted, or I could bring it into my front door. I can hang it on the wall, take photos, put it right here on the table, take measurements, and then list it, and then put it out into the garage already listed and stored. You know, it just depends. There's not a right or a wrong way. I just choose to just throw it into my system, let it run through, and go out into the garage and be stored. Because I say 0%, I always say this, 0% of the items that you have unlisted will sell. But some percentage of the ones that you have listed, even out of season, will sell. So I sold a jacket today, right? So there you go. But you could make the argument for listing in season. There are people who just do that and they just store the rest of the stuff and they wait to the season. There's nothing wrong with that. I just don't do it. You asked what I do. What do you think of cross-listing apps? I use Nifty. I absolutely love it. I've been using Nifty for more than 2 years. I pay $70 a month, and it does cross-listing, automation, analytics, and it does all my AI listing for me, all built into one platform. It's awesome. As soon as something sells, it delists it automatically for me. It's automatically sending offers to people. It's sharing items on Poshmark constantly, 8,000 times a day. But the AI listing tool, total game changer, right? All I do is take the photos, I drop them in a Nifty. Nifty writes the item title, writes the description, clicks all those boxes on eBay and Poshmark about like, the item specifics and sizes and colors and, the fabrics and all that. And it does just all that stuff for me. It makes my listing process super fast. I love it. It makes me extra sales every single day. It makes me show up higher in search results because of all the automation. Freaking love it. Big fan. And even though I've been promoting and talking about Nifty for over 2 years now, I've been promoting it for 1.5 years now. I've been using it for 2 years. I was waiting for a couple of features to come on board before I officially promoted this item. So I used it incognito for about 5 months, 6 months before I finally started talking about it publicly, because I was waiting for a couple important features for me and my business to go on board. And once they put those in September or October of 2024, that's when I started promoting Nifty. So I wanted to use it, I wanted to believe in it, and I wanted to make sure it had the things that I needed before I talked about it. So wanted to make that little caveat. I dropped a link down below in the chat right there. If you want to check it out, free trial, 7 days, no strings attached trial. You can see how it works for your business. You can try all the tools, the automation tools, the cross-listing tools, the AI listing tools, and the analytics. And you can see how that works for your business in those 7 days. If you like it, you'll get 15% off your first month. If you don't like it, it's a no commitment free trial. So I just dropped that link down below in the chat. If you're on Instagram, you can't click links in the chat, but you can click on my name and you can find that same link for 15% off Nifty and a free trial. You can find that right on my profile on Instagram. So big fan of Nifty. We've talked about it already a few times today in this live. I know people cycle in and cycle out of the live, but I've used other cross-listing tools. I've used other automation tools. And in my estimation, Nifty is the best in class, and it's not even really close. But everybody likes different things. But you ask my opinion, you got it. We just had someone in the chat having some snow right now. Somebody in Wyoming was saying snow for sure. It's crazy. Oh yeah, I've looked at your store, tons for inspiration. There you go. I'm not saying just look at my store. Look at, there might be there's other sellers in the suits category that I think do a better job with their listings than I do for sure. The suits and blazers category is a different beast. And I think about it was like the difference between like walking into like American Eagle, in the store, walking into American Eagle in the mall is what I meant to say. And, they have like teenagers there that are like, hey man, like, can I help you find anything? And it's like, there's a certain level of service you expect at American Eagle. But then when you go into a store that sells suits, it's a little bit different. You're talking to an adult. They're wearing a suit probably. They're going to measure you and tailor you and all that stuff, right? The experience shopping for menswear is just like a higher level. It's like when you're like a woman going into a bridal shop as opposed to going into Old Navy, right? You could have a better experience. I think the same is true on eBay listing too. There's these sellers that are successful selling suits and blazers because they get that, right? They get that there's like an extra expectation when you're buying menswear. So there's a lot of mannequins. There's a lot of really, really good photos, a lot of great measurements and like great descriptions and stuff. So, I think if you're going to be successful in the suits and blazers category, it's like find somebody who's really successful in the suits and blazers category that sells a lot and like copy exactly what they do. And that's a great way to be successful in just about anything, right? Is like, look at the people who are really, really good at it and copy them. But menswear does sort of, I think the people who do best, they go the extra mile with measurements and descriptions and all that stuff. So there are people who do it better than me. Absolutely. So don't just look at my stuff, look at who's successful in that category. And you'll see it's really clear when you start looking through listings. There's some really good listings. Look through recent sales and stuff too. Can I sell video games and electronics on Posh? I sell clothes too. I believe so. I haven't sold video games and electronics in a long time, but I'm going to do something right here, Retro Desert. This is crazy. I'm having fun with you a little bit. I am going to copy and paste. Won't let me copy and paste. I am going to type in what you just said. Can I sell video games on Poshmark? I typed that into Google. It says, yes, you can absolutely sell video games on Poshmark. The platform features a dedicated electronics market where you can buy and sell physical games for various consoles, as well as gaming hardware, controllers, and guides. So there you go. I thought it was true. I just didn't. I'm not being coy with you. I just didn't. It's been a long time since I sold video games. I couldn't remember if I cross-listed those to Posh or not. I'm wearing my K-Way shirt. I just teal used. Nice. I like it. I don't know that I have a K-Way shirt that any longer fits me. And that's a me problem, not anybody else problem. All right, next up is an order for another bad birdie. So sold 30. Sold 3 of these this weekend. The other 2 were size XL. This one's a size 2 extra large. So 3 of them, same exact model, same exact color, just a couple of different sizes. This one sold on Poshmark for price $24 on Poshmark. Good to see these moving and grooving because I got a lot of these in stock. This is a retail clearance pickup. Found them for a good price, stocked up on them. And you know I love those multi-quantity listings because all I got to do is take 1 round of photos, 1 round of measurements, and boom, set the quantity to, I think I had like 8 of these. I think I had like 10 of the size extra large, and I think I had like 16 or 18 of the size large. So it's a good way to just get a whole bunch of listings up. Right? 3 different sizes of the same shirt. You know, it probably took me, I don't know, a total of 15 minutes maybe. And I got like 40 items listed just because it was only 3 listings total to get 40 units quantity listed. I like that kind of stuff. You get an order. Here's a good one, Viore. This sold yesterday. I listed this yesterday in the morning, and it sold while we were out on a hike today. Or out on a hike yesterday, like a couple hours later. So I was out of cell phone service, so I had no idea until we got back into civilization, but sold this in just a couple of hours. A pair of Viore shorts. These are called the Core Camouflage Athletic Short. I think it's Core, like with a K is the model. So Viore Core, 7-inch inseam. I grabbed them for $5 at a thrift store. They sold in a couple of hours for $32 on Poshmark. So Poshmark is going to take 20% fees. So they're going to take $6.40 from this. So that's going to leave me with $25.60. I paid $5. So I made $20.60 off this, and it sold in a couple of hours. Hard to beat that, right? Hard to beat that. And that might just about do it. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Yeah, that does it. That wraps up our shipping for today. Solid weekend, not crazy, but another really great week in the books. I'm way up in May over April, like 30-ish% up from April. And April was a really good month too. So really excited for that. One thing that's coming though is we know it's May 18th. So typically we see a downturn for, if you're a clothing reseller, we see sales go down in June, July, and August. Now, some years, one of those months tend to be like really, well, just about every year, one of those months tends to be really good. Some years it's June's really good. Some years it's August, it's really good. But usually there's like one really strong month out of my summer, and I never know which one it's going to be. But typically, you know, we're looking at a downturn for clothing selling in the summer. There's a few reasons for that. Like clothing like retailers, they're slower in the summertime because people are traveling. They're spending their money on experiences. They've also bought a lot of their summertime clothing already in like March, April, and May. People tend to buy for the next season, or they buy at the beginning of the season. So they already got their polos, their shorts, and all that stuff by the time June comes around. kids are out of school, people are traveling, they're going to the lake, they're going to the beach, they're going to the mountains, wherever they're going, they're coming to Asheville. I'll tell you that much. That's for sure. We're already seeing the tourists really pick up in the area, but some people just don't shop for clothes as much in the summertime. Do people shop for clothes in the summer? Sure. They just don't do it as much as they do. The big months are March, April, May, and then September, October, November, December, right? That's when people are doing a lot of their shopping. I'm slow in February, okay in January, and then I'm usually slow over the summer. But 1 month is usually pretty good for me, really strong. We'll see what month that is this year. You just never really know. The business is just sort of a weird beast. But point being is I look at this, and as I'm talking to other clothing resellers who have been doing this for a few years, we always talk about like, all right, let's finish May strong. Like, it's been a good start to May. Let's finish really strong. Let's get a lot of the summer stuff out the door before things slow down, June 1st. And it's just inevitable. Doesn't mean you can't have a good summer. I've had some good summers in the past, but it's usually 1 month out of the 3 that's good, and the other 2 are soft, and then the things pick back up in September. Just the nature of the beast. But I hope you don't see a slowdown. But I'm just kind of sharing to you, this is what's going on in my mind, is I want to really get stuff out the door in May because there's less people shopping in June, July, and August. It's just the reality of things. And it's always been that way. Retailers are that way. That's why a lot of retail clearance comes out in late July, right? They're just trying to get rid of stuff because they know nobody's buying the summertime stuff anymore. So what's your opinion on the future of sourcing from thrift stores? I don't know, Kevin. I don't have and I'm not being facetious here, Kevin. I don't have a crystal ball or, whatever. I just don't. I just know what's in front of me. One thing that I do know is there's always going to be an opportunity for there to be underpriced items in the marketplace, because marketplaces are just inefficient. Used clothing, there's just not efficiency in that marketplace. And whenever there's an inefficiency in a marketplace, there's an opportunity for a reseller to go in and make money. What's the future of thrift stores? I have no freaking idea. That's way above my pay grade. All I do is just continue to look for opportunities where there's inefficiency and I do used clothing. So inefficiency in new clothing, inefficiencies in the new and used clothing markets, and look for opportunities to make money off those inefficiencies. So I don't know what the future of thrift stores is. And these are things that I don't really spend my time thinking about. I just try to spend my time thinking about what I do know, what's in front of me, what I can control, and what I can influence. But the future of thrift stores, I can't control it. I can't influence it. And I got no clue on that. So I just tend to try to stay focused on what's in front of me right now and how to make the most possible money for me and my family and our future, and so that we can retire someday. That's just my thing. And I'm not picking on you, and I'm not trying to be sarcastic. I'm just being straight with you. Thanks for the great stream today, Chris. Appreciate that, Scrappy Cougar. The chat was exceptional to you. The chat was exceptional. The chat's always good, but I thought today was exceptional too. I will catch the rest on replay. It's time to go to the paint booth and pay the rent. Well, have fun. I'm wishing you a great day. Appreciate all the positive vibes. Thank you, Chris, for the live on the job training. You're welcome. I appreciate you being here. This would be really a heck of a lot less fun if I was just talking to myself, if y'all weren't here for it. So thanks for being here. I'll see you again next Monday, right around noontime Eastern time, and I'll show you everything that sells this weekend. I hope you have a great week of sales. I hope you find some really great stuff when you're out and about. And if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure to check out my new YouTube video. I dropped it yesterday. I drop a YouTube video almost every Sunday. I skip usually 1 week a month. I skip just because I don't have content for it. But I did drop one this Sunday. I usually drop them at 11 a.m. Eastern time, but I'll just link my YouTube right there down below in the chat if you want to go check out that video. I thought it was pretty good. It was a really great thrift haul, and I think maybe some new brands for you, some new items that you'll learn, but a really good, way above average thrift haul for me. So some